He did it.
I mean, homie deserve it, man. For real. He's a rider, bro. He's a fucking rider. He deserves all
Yeah,
that.
Johnny FaceTimed
Yeah,
me when he
dude.
opened the package. It was funny because he left for vacation for like 10 days to go see his parents, and the day he left, he got a DHL, like a notification that something had been delivered from DHL. And he said, well, that's weird because he never got a shipping notification for his season 1 merch. And so he's like, I don't know what the hell it is. And he's been gone for like 10 days. And he's like, I don't know if they sent me like shoes or whatever it is. And, when he got home, he FaceTimed me and he opened it and said, oh my God, dude, showed me all the shit. But it's just funny because, he's been obviously, hoping that, something would get sent his way, and it's, amazing to see that. But it's the one time that it actually does get sent, he's gone for 10 days and can't even like fucking see it. Like he's sitting in Virginia, like wondering what the hell is in this box, but yeah, no, it was beautiful. It's amazing to see. So yeah, big props to Artifact and the team on that one.
Big props. Yeah, dude. He was in Miami. This man would. I don't even think he made it to any of the events. He was grinding so hard. He was like having meetings all day, and then he was meeting people at night. I mean, it's like you guys know how it is up in Bad Take Stage. Grinders.
No, imagine how that feel, though. I mean, I'm sure he appreciated that hoodie because that's fire, right? But it's Johnny. We talking about Johnny. No man thinking of
Yeah, he was super happy, super
but
happy. Big smile on
it
his
had to
face.
feel like that Christmas where you asked your mom for an Averex and she ended up getting you like a Wilson's leather jacket, though, because you just know you was coming home with some shoes. Like, ooh, I can't wait to get it. And you get in there, it's like, man.
No, well, he said there was like a label on the package and it said custom shirt, and so he kind of had an idea that it wasn't shoes, but he had no clue who it was from or like what was in the box. It just said custom shirt. He was hoping for shoes, obviously, but at the same time, I mean, man, he doesn't have any alien gear. He's not doesn't have the alien clone, so to get that was huge, and it's just fire. And he got like the Murakami DNA hat.
Oh, he got alien stuff too?
Oh no, sorry, Reptile. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Reptile.
Yeah, my bad.
That's still sick as hell.
I had Alien on the brain because that's the only shoe he doesn't
Yeah,
have.
they sent the homie alien stuff. I just sent it in the Bad Take chat so you guys could see. It looks sick.
Hey, tell him if he don't want it, I'll take it. Not Johnny. I know Johnny will wear his, but
yeah, Johnny ain't getting rid of it.
You don't think I already tried?
Yeah, I do. Maybe I should, man, I should reinforce that bet. You want to hear some shit funny, though? You know that video I posted up with a bird hitting the window and my wife hitting the 40-yard dash? I just looked at the window where it hit, and it's like a wing print where the bird smacked the window. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
bro, you ain't washed your windows in a minute.
And you know this messed up. The cleaning ladies were supposed to wash the windows, and they didn't. You know what? I'm about to send them a picture. What's up with this, huh? This what I pay you for?
That's not the window he hit.
Oh.
Dre about
But she loves birds,
huh? Real quick.
She loves birds. Does she know that the topic of the night was geese?
Oh, no, you know what? This is on the outside. So I guess another bird flew into the window of the house and smacked this shit up. This ain't even up the right window.
Bro, that's the third bird, the third window.
We got these big-ass windows.
No, bro, your cleaning lady's doing an immaculate job if the birds are smacking the
That's a
windows,
fact.
dude. Yeah, she's doing the opposite of a bad job.
I'm
She's
going to
doing
take a
great.
photo. This is funny.
They can't see the windows. They're smacking.
Sorry, bird. But no, shout out Artifact, man. Shout out Artifact. Shout out them, you know what I mean? Like, the community. Damn, why she gotta be Consuela? Her name is Carol.
Dude said
her name is Her name is Shirley. Jeez. So what are you on out here? It's like
That just picked the most
that was
Mexican name.
mad prejudice.
Bro, you guys never seen Family Guy? That's the cleaning
That's
lady's name
terrible.
in Family Guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Jeez,
it was
out
from
of
Family.
That's what her
anyone,
name
bro.
gotta be, man. Damn, bro. That's
Yeah.
okay. I see the time you're on. All right. Say no, her name is like Gresham or some shit like that. What is her name, Coomer?
Who?
The cleaning lady.
Santa?
Santa. Her name is Santa.
Y'all don't remember the story that Drake told us that they're like really they'd be like cycling through cleaning ladies all the time. Could have swore he told us a story about
How
this.
the hell did it go from Carol to Santa
Santa.
Claus?
That's from the message.
But see, she's Latina.
Yeah, she is for real. She's actually. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But anyway, back to the birds.
What a shot.
I'm gonna take this picture real quick.
Hey,
Hey, yo, holy!
please.
I'm dead, Dre.
Nah, it's what you guys got going for this wonderful Friday evening?
Yo, Dre, you know what's
Lakers
about
is
to
6.
happen, bro. You're about
Lakers
to
is
go
fucking
home
6.
crying tonight, Dre.
Why would I cry? Why would I cry?
Because Lakers finna
Nah, I
lose.
don't believe in that.
Lakers
Yeah,
in 6.
What time's the
sucks
game?
a 7.
7. 10 minutes.
Yo, was Prez in here? I want to see if Prez can do something.
Holy!
I'll ask him.
Holy.
I'll ask him if he could stream it in the Discord.
Yo, Von Soul, you want the Warriors to win?
Yeah.
And Mr. J wants the Warriors to win?
Hell yeah, I'm from the Bay
Bunch of
Area, bro.
fucking ops. Holy shit.
You gotta understand where I'm from. I've been a Warriors fan for a
Since the
long
trails
time.
be real, can you say it that long?
Well, guess what? Enjoy tonight because it's going to be the last time you see Draymond with them. It might be the
Probably
last.
right. It's been a
The
while.
dynasty ends
It's
tonight,
been
my
since the
boy.
It's all
trails
good.
free will days. Ball head.
Since Baron
Oh, okay,
Davis
that's all
days.
I know. That was back different unit.
Latrell Sprewell, the only reason I know who that guy is because he got pulled over and ate all his weed so he doesn't get arrested,
And he
right?
choked out the coach in New York.
Yeah, he choked the coach out.
That's
Yeah,
back when I
that's
used to
why.
watch NBA, bro. I told you I used to watch it a lot back in the day.
Oh, yeah, tonight's going to be
Fun.
a good one.
I don't watch
Banger.
that shit anymore. It's sacrilegious. They got women out here looking all crazy with the goodies out. I don't need no say that.
Dang, bro. Yep, I feel you.
I
You don't need
none
none
of
of
that
that.
in my life. Have a good night, man. See you tomorrow.
Oh, you're done? Nowhere. I'm making dinner. Dry off your body.
Yo, Prez, what's up?
What's for dinner? I don't
It's
know.
good. I heard you calling me. What's up?
We're trying to see if you have access to the Laker game, if we could stream it in the Discord. If you have a,
Say no more.
you can
Say no
stream it.
more. Say no more, boys.
Oh,
Why don't you go over to the Discord? We talk there.
Hey, we in the bad take Discord.
You watch that stuff on NBC. You don't watch that on Discord, for the record. All right, I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm going to go cook and dip and pull back up so the crib doesn't burn down.
What you cooking, Pop?
Then I got you some
Rice.
That's what we have here too, rice.
It's my kind. It's got broccoli.
Yeah, so got to make sure it doesn't.
Hey, if you set your house on fire cooking rice, you just need to retire from cooking for the rest of your life.
I know. That's why I got to pay close attention.
Yeah, you don't have a rice cooker?
Then I
Like,
can pick the broccoli
a rice
out.
We had
Nah, I just put it on the pan in a pot with water and oil.
like a human does. We had a rice cooker, but we lost the lid on the move from Ohio.
Yeah.
I gotta make it like peasants.
Our rice cooker is pretty much always on warm or hot.
Pretty much just cooking all the time. Huh? I feel you. I eat that much rice too. It's a lot of sugar though, right? Because they can't convert back into sugar.
What?
Yeah, rice, man.
That Mr. K?
Do you want raw broccoli?
It is.
Nah, dude, yeah. Y'all gotta get a rice cooker. You don't burn the house down, bro. But
Nah, fuck that. We take risks.
It's all about rice and beans.
Without the beans, though.
Nah, but you gotta do it like the right way. Like get actual beans, like strain them, and then and it has to be black beans.
Yeah, Soul is actually spitting some flame right now.
You see, with my stomach, beans are eliminated.
Got the Discord going.
You like plantains, Pampisha?
Oh yeah, plantains are fire.
Oh yeah,
Like baked, like the what type of people? Like what is it? Cuban
I
food?
thought
Is
it
it
was
like
Jamaican.
yeah?
Yeah.
Couple ethnicities have fire
Peruvian.
like baked plantains.
That's that good stuff. I invited Yogi up because I wanted to ask him about his golden Azuki.
Yo, what up, Trey? How you doing? What up, Compound Kuro? Everyone, happy Friday.
Yo,
Yo,
Yogi, good.
Yo, happy Friday. Yo, did you see my yo, did you see my five Zukis I really like?
I did, dude. They're kind of mid, not gonna lie, but everyone has their own, so that's the beauty of art.
shut your Azuki still.
Yo, that was somebody else that
Dude, he
DM me, yo. They're
tugged
like,
on you.
bro, you have no Kigus, you have no cold hoodies. I'm like, bro, those shits are out of my price range,
No, dude, it's
bro.
not even the Kigus or the price range. I like the Elementals a lot, and I don't even like. There was one that sold like this golden headphones, like electric eyes, like fire hair, blue fuck thing. Like I don't even. I'll find it, and it sold for 200 ETH. I think that's my favorite. I can never buy it because now it's with some like Chinese billionaire, but like I did like it for a while until it got away.
So that's what I wanted to get into because I don't really know much about the Azukis on that level. So what made you get yours? Like, what's the story of you picking up yours, Yogi? I see you got some gold shit. I know gold shit is usually the fire shit. So I see you got some fire shit. What's the story behind you and your fire shit?
Yeah, dude, I got lucky with this when I revealed it. I would not personally spend more than 100 ETH on something in the NFT space. But I guess you could also make the point, why didn't I sell it? Which I don't want to sell it either. I got into Azuki because some random dude was like, yo, you should YOLO into this. And it was like YOLO season at the time. This is like literally after I hit big with Artifact, dude. I still remember it. We got the first monoliths and they were going for 5-6 ETH. And I had 3 of these. And I'm like, dude, someone just airdropped me 15 ETH worth of random stuff that I don't know what it does. Then we got the loot pods and the space pods. And dude, we were like dripping in money. So I'm like, yo, fuck it. So I went and bought an Azuki. I bought some Pixelmon. That didn't end well. Bought Neo Tokyo. That didn't end well. But the Azuki was like the one thing that ended well. And held on to it because I ended up joining Spirit DAO and I met people and actually learned about the project. I gotta be honest, like I held because of the art and I met some really cool people. I'm not an anime guy. I don't read manga. Like the only anime I've ever watched is Dragon Ball Z and Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I don't even think falls under anime, to be honest. Maybe it does. I don't know the space. And I watched what the team was doing. I met, I don't know if you've ever met Sunway and Dooku, and started talking to these dudes and iced coffee and Ilan in the crowd, but months later. And, I was like, there's a lot of smart people here. I like what they're doing. And, the thesis I had in my mind was, Bored Apes did well because of the US. And that was like an accident. Like I don't think that the Bored Apes planned on what they became when they went into it. I think anyone that says, oh yeah, we're going to build the next gaming company, sitting in their desks, January of 2021, I think is bullshit because no one knew what the space was going to do. Azuki saw the success of Bored Apes and was like, all right, how do we get a smart team together and build something specifically for this niche? And they got a guy that like did the art, crap, I'm blanking on his name. The Blizzard dude, Steam Boy. Steam Boy came in, was very meticulous with the art. I think it's one of the cleanest collections. And, once I heard about that, I'm like, right, these are some venture bros, which, again, a lot of people in the space don't like it. I like it because it's, all right, you're venture or tech. That means you know what you're doing from a business sense. You know that you can't keep minting, you can't keep airdropping money because there needs to be a flow of funds from somewhere. So that's what got me in. The Zaga FUD was a scary day. But for me, it didn't really matter because it was like, right, I could have sold this for like, at the time, maybe like 400K. Now it's worth 50, but I bought it for 3. So does it really matter? Like, yeah, whatever. So, and luckily I don't, again, bias for me is that Web3 is not my like full time. So it's like, this isn't money that changes my day to day. So it's like I held through, and luckily we held through. The community bounced back. I think it got rid of a lot of the noise. And then, I held one Azuki for basically the whole year because my mindset was like, yeah, I should have more. But technically speaking, I have anywhere from 100 to 150 ETH in this project by holding this. So why would I buy more? So my mentality kept, from other things. And I finally picked up 2 more. I bought a gold offhand and I bought a floor just to have floor exposure. But that's like the story. And I held on to it because I like gold. It's clean. It had a coffee thing. I thought I could do something with the IP. Explored it. I'm not good at retail, so I never actually ended up doing anything with coffee. A few other people ended up launching stuff. But yeah, that's why I held, dude. And the last 2 things I'll say is, when I think of Azuki and what they've done thus far, and I have no idea where they're going, I see it as a luxury NFT. They're going to build experiences like we saw that with New York. I'm excited to see what they do in Vegas. And then the fact that they've attracted this Asia crowd, which a lot of people underlook, like it's like, oh, Asia's waking up and it's like a joke, but there's a lot of money there, but it's also because there's a lot of smart people there. And that's where the GDP is growing for the next 20 years. And so it's like, how do we plan for what's the next market? Like the US was that market for the last 60 years. What's the next market? And so when I think about that, I'm like, I'll hold Azuki if these guys can do, a fraction of what they can. And they've brought on, again, I don't know any of these people, but like JJ Lin, who I guess is like some Chinese rapper music dude, and other people, Arthur and there's this like real estate developer in Hong Kong, and it's like, right, these guys obviously know the market, they have the right people buying this, and they're building a brand without forcing it. Like they haven't, like we talked to the team about this, like, would you ever give a free Azuki to someone famous just to get it into someone's hands? And they're like, we can't do that because it takes away from Web3, because everyone's supposed to be equal at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how famous you are. And, Andrew Wiggins, when he rocked the Azuki, bought it by himself, or like MoonPay did something. The Azuki team had no financial incentive to give him or anyone that's been famous rocking Azukis, which I really enjoyed. So those are the few reasons why I'm into Azuki, and I held this gold one because I got it, was lucky. And yeah.
No, that was fire, man. I appreciate you sharing, for real. So I always wondered what made certain people or made people jump into certain or specific projects, and to be able to hear from that perspective, you was talking about things that I've never thought about. Because I always saw Azuki, I always knew it was dope. I always wanted to get into it, even before the reveal and back when I first started really pushing it. But the community that they built up, I think it's really dope to see, because you guys, y'all hold it down, man. And y'all.
Yeah, and I think it's also just like what your mindset is with NFTs, and like I have a bias where I still haven't been able to come to like, why do I like NFTs? Like it's still something that challenges me, because there's not like any inherent utility, cash flow. There's a lot of capital, and I'm worried that it's an inflated asset at the end of the day. And so when I got into NFTs, I got into it just to experiment and explore. I put in maybe 40, 50 ETH at the time. And, I was always like, all right, I bought my first NFT was a Mutant Ape. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I sold it. I got into Nike and Artifact. And I got into Artifact mostly because of a buddy of mine told me about Takashi and the shoes and saying something was happening with Nike, and then Nike ended up buying them. And I'm like, oh, this is a real business. This could be interesting. And, everything else from there on has been like, what is the strategic use case for this? Like I got into Neo Tokyo to meet some people and do gaming. And now I'm like slowly offloading some stuff and like holding a few that I think may do something in 10 years. But it's been really hard to like justify buying NFTs over other assets. And, with the euphoria down, it's we're starting to see like the true value of some of the assets. And I love the experimentation, but I just don't know how it comes back to all the NFT holders for some. And then I'm also just like, today's like I'm just pissed off today because I'm seeing people put $4 million into a random wallet, and I'm just like, all right, what the fuck am I doing here? So,
It'll be some of those days, but it's all good. I think there are certain projects that have that legacy that they're building in the present moment, and I do think, in my personal opinion, of course, Artifact is one of those things. I think they've already naturally evolved into a whole different thing, but that's a different conversation on its own. But I will speak about how last night that panel talk was something that kind of really opened my eyes to a different perspective, because a lot of those guys up there didn't even necessarily know who Artifact was and what they did. And they were being enlightened by the conversation that we were having about the current state of the project and the community. And it kind of dawned on me, like, I would like to hear about other people's experiences with these different projects, right? Just what made them jump in, what makes them interested in it, what makes them want to be a part of it. And hence why I'm asking you about you and your experience. But I would love to hear it from other people like Cheddar, the Alien Friends, and I'll see what his ape experience was like. You know what I mean? And different people down there. Bamboo, I see you down there with your sappy seal on. Like, I would just love to hear the perspective from different people as of to why they're doing what they're doing and what makes them jump into that. 'Cause at the end of the day, we are a small community of 30,000 people, and we all are looking to push some type of education to everyone else who haven't taken their steps to even jump into this NFT or this sector of Web3. So, and the only way we can grow is if we expand everything outside of the borders that we have here today in the present moment. And that comes from perspectives and awareness and education. So appreciate you sharing that story, bro. That's hella enlightening. Cheddar, if you want to jump up, bro, and spread your cheese everywhere. We here for that.
What's up, Click?
What's up, guys? Just wanted to let Yogi know that if he needs a random wallet to send 4 ETH to, I have an address. I'm happy to send it his way. Thanks.
Shout out, Click.
Yogi was smart though, right? Like, he talking about selling, and I'm like, what is that, man? Like, he got monoliths, he got loop pods, he got ETH from that. Like, no, I didn't do any of those steps. I rode those bitches till the wheels fall off, and the wheels actually did fall off, and I'm still riding them bitches. Well,
well, yeah, because I think a lot of like you should hold some things, and for me it was just that I think this price is ridiculous, and I'd love to have like a crypto rainy day fund, and worst case scenario I'll just buy back in. Little did I, like, it wasn't planned. Like, that shit could have gone to 20 or 50, but yeah, dude, it's a hard game.
That's just that comes from a sound mind, right? That's a sound perspective. that makes great sense. Like, yeah, that's
the reason why this is what triggered me to do it. And my downside was that I ended up buying back into other shit and I lost a lot of it. So it doesn't really matter because you have to have the patience once you do sell. But I was on a CloneX space a year ago. This is like probably like first week of February. Like, this is like peak clones. Like, you got 20 ETH floors, you got 6 ETH monoliths. And this kid comes on stage and is like, someone's like, yo, should I sell and pay off my mortgage or whatever? And people are like, dude, why would you buy a dying asset class? Like, fucking clones forever. Real estate's going to zero. And I was like, this is why I'm going to sell. when you have peak euphoria where someone's like buy an NFT over paying a mortgage, like, all right, this is like I'm gonna see myself to the exit. The last time that happened was when someone texted me, should I buy Doge in 2017, and like that was the exit then. That this was the exit now.
I was not a part of that space where homie was asking about a mortgage or a CloneX.
Yeah, dude, it was. I forget what it was. It was someone was gonna. I think it was maybe with Cass and this other dude. I can't remember him. And this is before Cass became a mod. And they were unveiling. This is when you had the pods still. Like if you hadn't burned your pods were like, or was it the vials? Sorry, this is when vials were like 30 ETH, and I was like, yo, should we rip it and like do an unveiling and like have some fun? And that's when like someone just came up and was just like, yo, like this is the future. It's Nike, and it's like, yeah, it's exciting, but like guys, let's be a little rational here.
Yeah, we don't find that. We definitely didn't find that back then. It's hard to even creep up on that right now. So that's a great point. But appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you giving that perspective for real. I'm definitely going. I'm thinking I'm about like 60% sure I'm gonna head out to Vegas and link up with y'all when y'all out here because it just makes sense. I'm ready to see how it is in that side of the garden. See how you guys get down. Like feel that energy. That IRL energy is totally different from the Spaces energy. And like I said, even with the panel last night, just sitting up with people who were talking about the whole Moonbirds and Spotify situation and just different perspectives and giving their opinions on the BRC20 situation with the ordinals and how much they are ingrained into the art aspect of NFTs and Web3. It just gives different perspectives. So I'm ready just to hear how you guys get down with the Azukis and the beans in the garden for real. But Cheddar, what's good, bro? I saw you came home with a Degen award the other night. That's lit. Shout out to the Bare Necessities team and that fire ass award show they built up. That was so dope just to be a part of it. Congratulations on the award, man. But I would like to hear your story if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, by the way. And what up, everybody? Yeah, I kind of was at work. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I'm glad you kind of rephrased what you were asking because I heard Cheddar and I was in the middle of watching some Coca-Cola video, and then I was like, okay, I heard my name, and then I heard the if you'd like to come on up, and I seen the invite. I was like, oh shit, I should have been paying attention. My bad, my bad. It's Friday and I'm at work and I'm just trying to get through this day and I'm hungry, but we here. Uh, yeah. So thank you for the acknowledgement on the award. And again, I also work at a weed shop, so I'm stoned right now. What was the question one more time?
See, you had a job with benefits, I see, huh?
This is why I like Bad Take, man. Like, you just get the raw, no BS, just straight up facts of what's actually happening. I appreciate
Likewise, man.
this.
You enjoy those perks of the job, bro. No, but basically I wanted to know, and this is just a personal question that I have for other individuals who are in different aspects of projects or different communities. What made you jump into Alien Friends, and what's your story behind it?
Yeah, cool, got you. So honestly, I jumped into my story's kind of crazy with Alien Friends. I'm gonna blame whatever algorithm social medias have because I looked into NFTs through Instagram. There was like one of those titles, like people making $1 million off of Bored Apes, and I was like, well, I don't have $1 million, but I have some money to dabble with. So I went into the space, made a meta. No, I already had a MetaMask through like I think it was like Doge or something or whatever. So I go in there and I guess I started dabbling through OpenSea because I find out that's like the thing. And I go to like stats and I go to rankings and I noticed that Alien Friends at that moment was like the first thing that came up, and it said like 1,000%. And I know nothing about finances. I come from the cannabis industry. I was like 1,000% gains. I was like, holy cow, that sounds crazy. It sounds like I need to buy that one. So I start looking at them, right? And I'm like, okay. I look at the price, and they're like 300, 400 bucks, whatever. So I ended up looking at the collection, and I find that some of them had this yellow stuff on their head, actually, and that's what gravitated me towards it because I've been called Cheddar since I'm 12 years old, and I'm 34 right now. 33. I didn't turn 34, so it's been like a nickname forever. But I first thought it was like wax, and that's like I was like, okay, cool, cannabis wax. It's more than likely going to be like some dabs on their head. Then I click on the tray and it said nacho cheese. So immediately I was just like, I'm just going to buy this NFT. Again, my intentions is to just make money. And then I find out there's community and stuff like this, and people are kicking it on spaces. And I didn't even know that there's like people interacting and socializing with this. I was going to go back to Instagram and post my shit and be like, I got something, you know? But then I got to meet community and people, and then I start to see people building identities. And it was mainly around the eights that I've seen people build identities before I started like paying attention. And when you pay attention, you start to notice others. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me use mine as a identity thing. And I was like, I never use social medias like that due to the nature of my industry. Like I was just kind of like, I don't need to be flexing or just being on the gram or anything. Or so I just never had it. So I kind of just started joining, interacting with things, and I was like, man, people are really like building things with this, and people are like excited to hang out with this person, and they know nothing what this person looks like. They just like this ape with like pizza in his mouth, or this cute alien friend with like cheese on his head per se, you know. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna work with this. And then I started seeing, you know, people innovate stuff, and I've always been this mindset of just wanting to do more and wanting to do better for myself. And I was just like, yo, this is a perfect chance for me to actually do something different than cannabis. And not that I'm against it, but man, it's been such a tough patch. Like I've been doing this before legalization has started, so you know, it's come to a point where I'm just like, yo, I have a son now, and I want to just be able to like not flex my money, but be able to be proud to be like, yo, I can buy this, I can buy that, because really, like, I work in the cash industry in a way, you know, so it's hard to like solidify what it is that I do. So I just honestly took forward with it. I really met genuine people, and I like to say that I'm a genuine person. I like to care about others, and that just gravitated me to people. And now I've learned to like work with others, utilize the people around me, the technology, and honestly, we're building a brand. I'm trying to really replace uh, everyday brands. Not that I'm going to replace some of them, but I'm trying to like, we're going to an age and market where our kids are going to be like, I'm so over seeing the same characters that our dads talk about and stuff like that. And it's going to be a cycle of that. You know what I mean? Like, when are we going to break that? So I figure these new characters that will create identities for the future, because kids spend time on YouTube, and whether that's your angle of promoting content or spending time on Twitter or TikTok, I feel like they're going to learn to gravitate to certain people, and they don't have to love a person, but they can love the identity of something. And that's just what my angle is and how I've just been in the space. And being high and talking a lot, I'll shut up now, but that's me, bro.
That's all good. I appreciate that perspective, man. You know, it's a different when you come into Twitter Spaces than having to go on to Instagram with the gram. You know what I mean? You can't go on the gram with the gram, showcasing the gram with the gram. Nah, man, you gotta bring it over here. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm rolling that gram up for
I
sure.
already can already tell based off the conversation we having right here, right now. So no, I appreciate you doing this for sure. You know what's how I could tell, because I asked you a question, you gave me no information on anything that I asked about, but you gave me so much more information about a totally different perspective. So I
I love
appreciate
NFTs.
it.
No, man, I appreciate you. Sorry about that.
Nah, no doubt, bro. I appreciate you, man. It's good to know. Like, these are things that we should be talking about. I think we get into these situations where we have people who are surrounding us that look like us, and it turns into an echo chamber, and then ideas become certain hive mindset perspective, and it's just good to be able to branch out and see things from a different perspective, just gain more knowledge and gain more understanding. So what's wild is like Sean is the homie. I would kind of say I kind of grew up with him, right? Like we used to do a lot of IRL events in Ohio, and I didn't even know he was a part of Alien Friends until like last year, legit. And I'm like, oh shit. So, and I didn't even really dive into the Alien Friend ecosystem until like last year. So to figure out that the homie has been putting a solid time into creating this community and keeping it going, and then meeting other people who have joined that same community, it's just like mind blowing shit to me. So it's just dope, just like I said, to understand what made certain individuals jump into different communities and how they're still rocking with them. Because if we're rocking right now, you rocking for a reason, and that's undeniable. So I appreciate you sharing your perspective and what made you want to be a part of it. I would ask Burning Bush. I don't know if he's at the Graham store too. It might give me the same type of scenario there, but
I'm always at the Graham store, but I'm a little bit more functioning on my level. I'm just kidding, Cheddar. Shout out to Cheddar over there.
Big Cheddar.
To the Cheddar gang. But yeah, just always in here. Been hanging out with all the Bad Take friends over there in the Discord, trying to help with the VRMs and all that good stuff. Shout out to Compound, Dre Miller. Shout out to the Files and all your help too the past couple of days.
For sure.
But yeah, good to be here with all the Bad Take crew.
So what would be your answer to that, right? Like, what made you jump into Alien Friends? What made you choose this community to be the one that you want to represent and represent your online persona?
Elon Musk made me choose this because I can't change it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm support. I'm like super bullish on the Alien Friends. I mean, obviously knowing Sean and meeting all those guys definitely made me even more bullish. Just kind of knowing them on the personal level. That being around genuine people as opposed to the traditional like grifter, people looking for the quick buck. Being in the space since 2021, early 2021, being a part of a lot of projects, I've seen a lot of ways people have done it wrong. I've seen a lot of people doing it right, and just like spending several months in the Alien Friends community and Twitter Spaces. It definitely turned into like a situation where I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a community that's building constantly. They're always looking for ways to get back to their holders. And I'd really appreciate a lot of the things that they're doing in regards to, trying to give value or do something for the holders as opposed to like going out and buying an 8 for the treasury or investing in a bunch of, shit coins or meme coins to try to double, what money they already have. No disrespect to anybody who's actually done that. But, I just don't feel like that's a good investment of funds all the time. And so, if you've got something like Alien Friends working on the friend coin, doing these micro meetups, I don't see a lot of projects that are out here like striving to do a micro meetup in all 50 states, let alone across the world. So like little things like that, I think mean a lot to me because they're not out here doing these huge grandioso events with, the music's so loud, you're not able to make a connection with anyone who's at the event. It's kind of moved on into the, what kind of personal connections and what kind of relationships can we make here? And then, how can we leverage and go out and weaponize this IP in our IRL lives, whether that's Web 2 or Web 3. So that's just kind of the basis of why I joined Alien Friends. And, a lot of you guys that are in here too, I would consider good friends, whether they're through mutuals or what have you. Joe talks about you all the time from Oneness, talking to him all the time. I just feel like I know you just from, talking to him and, those kind of conversations and those kind of people is just like the only way I can really move about the space anymore. There's not anyone that I'm just going to find out about without like going and referencing through somebody else that I know in the space that I consider credible. And that's just like how people need to be moving out here. We don't just need to be blindly going out and minting something. We don't need to go click a link without verifying it through somebody else that we trust. The same thing on just believing something when somebody says it. We need to make sure that we're out here questioning things from like in a respectable way, of course, and not just believing the first thing we hear. And that's just going to help the rising tide raise all ships mentality, as opposed to a lot of people who, they ride the elevator up and they don't want to send it back down for anybody else.
No, that's a fact. That was a bar. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to the homie Joe.
Yeah, big shout out.
People don't know. That's the guy right there. Out in Oneness, he created a movement so long ago and it's reached so many different people.
Out of Kentucky, no less.
Yes. Just out of just building something he wanted to do and believe in, right? Like, what's wild is I met so many people who was connected to Oneness and
Joe is
now
that
you
guy.
being the next
Joe is that
the
guy.
next person. You know what I'm saying? I met Nemo.
Yep, Nemo.
Back when he was traveling. That's the homie. I met him back when he was
through Joe as well. That's crazy. And Jack.
But back in the day though, right? Before, I think this was probably when Jack was still in middle school. Nemo was an artist at the time, and he was traveling with Kids Under the Stairs, which is Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper before
Yep.
they went their separate ways. So I'm talking about back then, like 2011, right? And it's crazy just to see the direction that everything is taking now, right? With Nemo working directly with Jack and Jack's career taking off the way he's taking off, and of course
Amazing.
Nemo's career taking off. It's just dope because it's coming from, like you said, it stemmed from Kentucky, which stemmed from Oneness, which stemmed from the Stoop,
Yes.
which stemmed from, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and a lot of people don't even understand that. But that's just how this
And
works.
that's
And
what
that
I
goes
think the
along
power
with
is Web
exactly what
three
you
though.
said.
And that's one reason I click
Yes.
with the Alien Friends is like the community of Alien Friends. It seems to be a lot of like down home boys, and I mean that not like in the the racist Kentucky boy type thing. I mean that in like the they're just kind of like the more average Joe types. They're not a bunch of people that are out here holding this huge bag. I mean, sure we do have some people that have some funds and some assets, but it's not like it's
Yeah.
people that you can really relate to. It's the fathers out here with the kids, putting the kids in bed, trying to just do this on the spare time. You got people that are working in full time. It's just that's what makes it real to me.
That's facts. And that's a great segue. That was a great transition because it is the same thing. The same thing that was growing back then from the Stoop, people hanging out, being a part of streetwear, loving hip hop music, seeing things grow in its own individual areas and direction, to now where it's got Jack Harlow out here, superstar and shit, and y'all still connected through that one store, that one occasion of being on the Stoop. And now we in Web3, right? And I knew Joe back then, but I really got to know Joe better through Web3, like seeing the moves that he was making with Wolfgang and all of that shit, Wolfgang and all that the shit because he was swag surfing through the bull market, right? And I used to hit him up like, man, what the fuck are you doing? This shit is crazy. And then him and I, of course, have built up a closer relationship. He was actually the reason why I got into that Fear of God fashion show. Like, he had tickets to go and couldn't. Of course, he was in Kentucky, and I'm out here in LA. And I'm like, yo, just throw me the tickets. I slide in that bitch, and that's exactly what it did. So it's been on that level the entire time, real recognizing real, and that's where we are here today within Web3. People's energy is speaking more than anything else, since we don't necessarily get to see everyone face to face. But then also, when you do have that experience of the IRL meetup, you get to connect that energy that you've been receiving every day here on Bad Take and putting a face to the name as well. And then we just grow together as a unit through that method right there. So it's all dope shit. And this is why I wanted to have more conversations, so it doesn't necessarily just have to be a hive mindset. We can gather so much education just from communicating to each other and understanding each other on a different level. So shout out to you. Shout out to Cheddar coming up. Shout out to the Gram doing the Gram. I would love to hear a lot of other people's perspective as well, man. Like, it's just hella interesting to me. It's just hella interesting to me. I don't want to. I know Compound and them was watching the game. I don't want to keep tearing off into everybody else with all these questions, but I do appreciate y'all, man. I
No,
appreciate
bro,
y'all
you're
sharing.
killing it, dude. This is amazing. I've learned a bunch right here. Anybody else that wants to come up and share, man, come on up. We are just getting into the Discord video right now. The Laker game just started. It's streaming. I just got this dope office set up from our boy Rupsy right here. I've been streaming with like a VTuber, kind of my VRM setup, which Burning Bush actually helped me set up. Oh, he just bounced, but he went down there. So he helped me set it up last night, and it does face tracking and everything. And Rupsy's just a master, in 3D and Blender. So, and Photoshop as well. So he set me up with this little office setup, dude, in the background. I got Rose Jade Swell. Top right corner, that's a Rose Jade piece. We got the Bad Take flag, some Murakami blades, some of my clones, some angel kicks in there, Rupsy. I didn't even get those IRL, but we'll put them in the office.
Should have
But
got him
yeah,
to slip.
we're watching the Laker game in the Discord if anybody wants to also join. Multiple stimulants going left and right. We got a game going. We got chat going. We got everything going.
I need to set mine up, man. I was talking to Burning Bush about that, about what they doing and how they had these things. I didn't know he was doing shit like this. That shit
Bro,
is
no,
crazy.
he had yours live in there last night. He came in as you, because you got your VRM already. You just need to
Yeah.
download the hologram app, bro. It's like a restreaming app. it streams your video instead of your face. It'll stream your clone. Pretty dope what they're doing over at Hologram. So
That's crazy.
I set it up last night, and I was just using like a gray background, and I said, bro, I know exactly who I got to hit up, and Rupsy just set me up with a fire office set up. You know, that same office from that render you
From
made.
the rug pull, yeah.
Yeah, and he threw some extra art up on the wall, some from my wallet, some pizzas and a little bad take flag up there. So
That is dope. I gotta do
You
some
just
shit.
downloaded the
Yo,
hologram app on your computer?
yeah, it's actually it's on the computer, and there's a Chrome plugin as well.
How?
But yeah, it does. I gotta redo my VRM. Like I want it to track my mouth as well. It doesn't track when I'm talking, but we can get
what
it
that
to that
mouth
point.
do?
Yeah,
He
you know
ain't
what I'm
doing a
saying?
damn
Hey,
thing. He extra
yo.
lazy today, not doing the damn thing.
So it looks like I'm just on stream, like not even talking, but it tracks your head and your movement, your shoulders. It tracks all that, dude. It's pretty fire.
That is super
Hop in the
fun.
Discord. Anybody wants to see what's going on in here? We're trying to build more than just a Twitter space, the actual community. Like we watch games together, we watch UFC together. Prez will be streaming, when he's doing Blender work in there. A lot of people will work in there at the same. Like I've seen Rupsy like custom kicks. He's been showing me in there. Like everybody will get in there and like do some cool shit. So we want to build this more than just a Twitter space. This is going to be a community as we go into a bull market, man. We're gonna get strong out here, y'all.
100%. No, I gotta
Yo,
jump in there, bro.
I got a question. Where does anyone have like I don't know, like say 12 to 15 images of their clone? Like I don't care whose clone it is or what it looks like, but I want to. I was gonna do this one other time before, and then I got distracted. But like, if anyone's got like a easy place for me to just download like 15 images, they don't even need to be that high resolution. I wanna try and I've been training a bunch of AI models and shit on different art, and it'd be kind of cool to do one for someone's clone.
Yeah, bro. Anybody, all of us.
Rose is giving me thumbs up, so I'll shoot her a DM.
Yeah, we got the Rose clone out here. Rose, great.
But if anyone has like other sets of images or their own dude or whatever the fuck, just send it to me. I'll doesn't take very long to train these things, and they're pretty entertaining.
What are you working in? I don't know much about the.
I've been using Stable Diffusion with like it's called Dream Booth is probably the most common one, but they've got other kind of styles of training. Like there's this thing called like Loris embedding, and I don't know. It gets kind of confusing. I get a little bit lost in the sauce sometimes. Like it's, but yeah, Dream Booth is what you'd want to. Stable Diffusion Dream Booth is what you'd punch into Google. You'd find yourself a collab notebook to use or something. There's also when I'm feeling lazy, there's this website called AI Painter. I can pay like $3 and just upload a zip file of the images, and it'll be done in like an hour. And it's like this. It's the same damn thing as me going through the steps on like a collab notebook. It's just a lot easier. I don't really have to think about anything. So I do that sometimes too. But
I can send you a link to my 3D files. I don't have any like. I don't know if you're looking for like pictures or selfies of my clone or like how you want to.
ideally, it'd be like a variety of images, like a selfie, maybe different angles and stuff, whatever. But if they're all like generally the same style, that also works. It's just you won't get as much like variation when you generate stuff. But it's cool because if like I can take like a model that I trained off someone's clone, and then I can put like a totally different image into it, and it'll kind of like do its best to like make do it in the style of that clone that it was trained on. So like, I could throw like, I don't know, like I could put like Yogi Suzuki into it after I trained it on a clone or something and see what like came out. Like it's fun. I like experimenting with that shit.
No, that sounds dope. No, while we got you up here, Click, let me ask you, what made you jump into the Click community and made you join in your PFP the way you got yours?
Yellow Beanie Gang, baby, let's go.
I've always used my own picture for my PFPs. The one that I have now was the first one that the first one I ever commissioned an artist to do. Back in April 2021, I was getting disgusted by Ethereum, and I just discovered Tezos, and I was collecting all kinds of shit, and I connected with this Brazilian artist, and I collected a whole bunch of his stuff because I just loved his style. And then I just DM'd him one day and was like, how much would you charge me to if I wanted you to do a picture of me in your style? And he's like, I don't know, like 10 Tez. This was when Tez was like $6, so it's not as embarrassing now. But like, yeah, it's like 10 Tez, and I was like, all right. So I sent him 20, and then this is what he gave to me a few days later, and I've been rocking it ever since. And I've used this color palette and like everything too. It's kind of fun. I actually have it as my pin tweet. I put together like a kind of like a collage sort of thing of and I just pinned it up in the nest there if you want to check it out. But there's been a few more additions since I made that tweet, but those are all different PFPs that people have made for me. Most of them I've commissioned. There's like a few in there that were given to me as gifts, but I like paying artists for their work. So
would you say that you're here in the sector more so for the art than anything else?
Yeah. At first it was just kind of like, checking things out. I wasn't here to like make a ton of money or anything, but it was like it was the Beeple sale that like made me curious about the space and started learning. I honestly was like, I don't know, I'm probably like a little bit of like a hipster, but like the thing I didn't like about PFP projects when I first got into the space was how they were just kind of like very expensive, like kind of like social symbols or status symbols of when you're in the space, and I didn't really vibe with that. I I try to treat people. I treat everyone the same. I think it's kind of funny when people talk about like oh, this person was wearing a so and so that means they're this or whatever, like those kind of like stereotypes and stuff. I think that's kind of hilarious, because I don't feel that way at all. But I've kind of come around. I mean, I've come around to it a little bit. I still don't own really any the only PFP thing of note that I own is actually I have a Tezard, which was like the kind of like the OG project on Tezos, and I really like it because it's very much a Tezos project. Like the website, like it was the first project I saw like that on Tezos where I looked at it and I was like, you know what, this is good enough that it could just be like released on Ethereum and be like wildly successful. It has like dope art. It has like a dope kind of attitude about it. It's like like you go to the website and it's like, do you have a roadmap? And it's like, we don't need a fucking roadmap. Do you have utility? And it's like, the art is the utility. What are you talking about? And like, I was just like, the irreverence of it was pretty charming. And I minted like 9 of them when they came out, which was pretty cool. It was the first day I interacted with a smart contract without the website. I had to go to Block Explorer and do it, and I leveled up that day. But
That's fun.
but yeah, I've really warmed up to the idea of maybe joining the clones, or I like the sappy seals are a little more realistic. They're like half an ETH. I could spend that much on a JPEG and like not feel too terrible about it. I don't got bags to speak of really. So, but I fuck with the clones. Mostly and Kuro's, and that's because of Kuro. I don't remember when I met Kuro. It hasn't been too terribly long ago, but I like him. And yeah, the clones and the seals, they're pretty rad. I think I like their communities.
Appreciate that, man. I like Hero too, for real. He can go off the rails a little bit, but he always knows how to reel it back. That's what I respect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a trampoline. You know, you keep jumping on it and you go higher and higher, and you never know where you're gonna go. That's how I feel with Kuro. Like he just keeps going further and further. And I'm like, oh shit, did he actually go too far? And then he comes back. Like, oh, okay, he's back. There we
Yeah,
go.
it's like the longer I hang out with him in spaces and stuff, it's like it's like there's another little layer that gets exposed, and it's just like fascinating. Like him and Fidgetal both actually, they're both like I don't know, they're kind of like enigmas, but they're I don't know, entertaining, insightful, good peoples.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate the story. I never even knew your background when it came to this situation, for real. And it's I just found out that I wasn't following you, so I apologize for that. But I also found out you weren't following me, so middle finger to you for that. But I appreciate you, bro, for real, man. Thank you for sharing.
Now we fucks together.
We fucks together. That's right. Appreciate you, man. That was hella insightful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Shantos, what's good? Let's see, we got you up here. We never said hello. How are you? Congratulations on your Dejan Choice Awards. Everybody came through with the Pepe pull.
That shit was so fun.
It was so dope, bro.
It was a lot of fun, actually, and I always wanted to know what it feels like to be a millionaire. Now I know.
Now you know.
Feels good.
That's what's up. So how are you? If we could check in with you and get your perspective of things. I know that you've been one whose name rings around the community as well. So,
Thank you. That's cool to hear. I'm nobody, man. I'm just chilling. I had to come up because Cheddar was telling his story, and Cheddar Gang for Life, of course. And actually, he is the reason that I have my PFP, like flat out, 100%. You know, I got into Web3 via odd ways, I guess. I had heard a lot about NFTs, and I do painting and stuff, and my brothers were like, oh, you should make these NFTs. And I was like, how do I do that? And they were like, we don't know. And so I looked it up, and I started minting some of my art on a different platform, and flinging it out to people for free, basically, to see my art in people's wallets, and that was pretty cool for a minute. And then my husband actually came across the Death Bats Club video that M Shadows made, talking about tickets to shows and access to the band, and we were like, we gotta do that. So we made MetaMasks, and got the week that ETH took like a total nosedive is when we ended up getting our bats. So we got in like right as the bear was like in full swing starting or whatever. And so we've never been in a bull, but like I'm pretty much rocking the death bat, wicked craniums, all those. Like I followed Law of the Saw into Alpha Vibes for a mental health check day one time, and that's where I've been sitting ever since. Like I'm absolutely obsessed with that whole entire community and just everything that they do. And then I started from there, met Cheddar and started going into Cheddar Spaces, Cheddar and Friends Spaces, and I heard it put perfectly one time. Someone said, like this is the only space where I've ever seen men, like step aside and like make room at the front for women or for people to come forward and be heard and like and be listened to and actually engaged in intellectual conversation, taken seriously. And that was such a true statement for me too. Like I've never had so many people listen to me. Like I'm nobody. I've got no formal education. I'm a housewife. I ain't crap as far as the world looks, in society, but I have people here that take me seriously and listen to me when I talk, and specifically DJ Bamboo and Cheddar Cheds right there. Anytime I go into one of them spaces, it would just be like, Shantos, heck yeah! They send me an invite to talk. They gotta check in with me, shout me out every chance they get. Like I never felt more seen and special in my life than I did in the Cheddar space. And I was like, that's it. I got to get a cheesehead. I got to get one. And he hooked me up with somebody that had a great cheesehead, and I got a good deal on it. And that's my bubbly cheddar head I'm rocking right now. And that's pretty much my go-to. I fluctuate for various spaces, like on bullish. When I do bullish blondes, I put on my blonde chick NFT and whatever. But yeah, this is my go-to. Here for life.
Shout out, AV. No, that was dope. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like having these type of conversations, man. This is the beautiful side of everything, because people can get so caught up in the day-to-day processing, right? Trying to find the next shit coin to jump into, trying to find the next NFT that they can grab to flip. But I think this is what it's all about. Like that sense of community. That's something that's unspoken. Like Shanto said, she comes into spaces and feel heard from people no matter what is going on in her life. And it makes her feel like she has the people who definitely understand her and the community of people who support her. Like that's what this is about to me, in my perspective. So it's dope to be able to hear it from other people's point of view and see that that's resonating with them as well. But this is what it's about to me, man. This is fire. I would love to make it more than just a specific space. I think that was the whole point of the inception of Bad Take. First off, it started off as having a place where clones could speak, because we kept hearing reports of how we weren't seen or heard on the timeline. And it was like, all right, well, let's amplify the voice. And everyone knows if you want to make a sound louder, you get together with more individuals to create that same sound. And that's exactly what we set out to do. And that's what we've been doing thus far. But now I'm realizing, and have realized for some time, that it's more than just one sound that needs to be amplified. And it's different tones that come from different communities at all times. So for us to come together as one whole unified community, we can hit all of those different tones and hit all of those notes that we're looking to hit to create the perfect sound and the perfect song, essentially. So this is dope, man. This is dope. Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate that. Congratulations again on your DCA, bro. That was crazy. Chris, what's good, bro? Let you up. What's good, man? How are you?
Yo, I'm great, guys. How about you guys?
Welcome, bro. Welcome.
Yeah, I've been wanting to hop in one of these for a while, and also I was listening to Sean. I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but Shanto speak. Mad respect for mother of three. I got two little girls, and trying to manage being a parent and being in this space is very difficult. so mad respect to you. You're doing God's work out there. But yeah, I just want to stop by, guys, and hang out for a bit. I know you guys were in our space the other day, and just want to see what it's about.
Yeah, man, for sure. Welcome as all. Welcome everyone. I would love to hear your trip, your background, your experience, what made you come into the Web3 sector, and your perspective on it as well, to be honest.
Yeah, man. I didn't get here as far as the space goes that long ago, but you're talking about like just what got me into Web3.
Yep. Period. What brought you to the whole point of being here to be sitting here talking to us today on this Twitter space? Like, what made you get a part of the Web3 community, the Web3 sector? Period.
My introduction was similar to a few. I feel like there was some like gateway drug companies. NBA Top Shots was one. I wasn't heavily involved. I had a couple of friends who were involved. VV was another one. I think there was like one more on the time. VV was the one that I got pretty heavy in, just because I'm a nerd. I loved like Marvel stuff and like the things that they were doing. And like maybe like 6 months after I got into VV, I minted my first NFT project, which was Afro Droids. I don't know if anybody remembers that. But the like 25% of the proceeds went to a place, a village in Africa to fund a women's school and dance for orphans. And it was cool because after the initial funds were raised, it was sent there immediately. And that was a big deal for me, because I was like, oh, there's more to that. Like, even if, which I mean, they basically did, but my mind going in was, even if this goes to zero, like it went for a good cause, and it did go for a good cause. Like, we saw the video of them thanking us and like helping build out their school and do more things. And I thought that was really cool. And it also supported an artist. OO was the artist behind that project. He was young. He was like 20 or 21. I'm sure it changed his life. He's still in the space, to my knowledge. I'm not really keeping up with the project anymore. So I just thought that was really cool. So I kind of got more into the art scene after that, and I got more into like the collecting scene. I've always been a collector since I was a kid, and I stopped for a long time. And NFTs kind of reignited that collector side of me of kind of things having meaning. Like even right now when I'm speaking, I have some artwork from like Art Basel that I picked up that like means things to me, and some collectibles I got from Designer Con and stuff like that. So yeah, now I'm just here, just kind of enjoying meeting people from all over the world. It's kind of like I also gamed a lot, and you meet a lot of cool people from all over the world in gaming, but it's a little bit more toxic environment, and it's like very short lived. But I feel like I kind of have that on Twitter Spaces, to where I'm kind of able to get outside my comfort zone and talk to people that I wouldn't normally be able to talk to, that are across the states or across the world, about like a common topic that we all care about. So like, you don't have that awkward like trying to find common ground. So I don't know. I hope that wasn't too long winded, but it's kind of my story, and here I am.
No, man, not long-winded at all. Honestly, it brought up some great points that I've forgotten about, right? Like even the gateway drug part of the NFTs, because I was a part of Top Shot. I was a part of VV. And those things kind of were like the gateway drugs of it all, giving me the gall to be able to step up and do different things like, the couple of rugs that I got into. I wouldn't have jumped into those rugs if I didn't have the understanding that I gathered from a VV or a Top Shot. And I didn't think about it from that perspective. I forgot about how the process went, where when I would see projects, like you said, I never heard of that Afro Ninja. I don't even remember what you said, but I've never heard of that one per se. But I do remember when this started kicking off, NFTs started kicking off, everything had like a thing that was attached to it. Like, oh, if you jump into this community, then we're going to do this as well. And then we will take care of this. And everything had like its own side motive on top of just building a community. And that was like the attractive, shiny part of it at the time. And I forgot all about that because it's all evolved into a different perspective now, right? Like, it's just wild that you even brought that up, and I appreciate you bringing it up. But it's so dope to see the evolution of all of this, because we come on these Twitter Spaces and we have these communities that we're a part of every single day. These people that we speak to, like you said, across the world, across the nation, damn near daily. And it's just about being able to have common interests and understand where that person is coming from, right? I feel like a lot of people who really dove into these projects were collectors of some sort, right? Geeks and nerds of some kind of perspective, some type of sort of as well, right? Like, and maybe we need to retire that saying like nerds, like, because how they're trying to retire NFTs. Maybe we should find another word to describe what we're doing here. Because I said the same thing even on the panel last night. Because I mean, that's the one thing I can understand. Because I myself am a nerd as well. Like, always been in the Marvel. I guess always been in the collectibles, trading cards, shoes, all of the above. So
The
that type.
subculture connoisseur, Dre.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you. I like that. I'm gonna start using that for sure. But that's what we all are, because that's what brings us together. That common interest that we share, even if it goes into different projects or different communities, it's still that common interest of being able to collect and being able to speak to those who collect or those who understand what we are collecting. Right? Like, I remember back in the '90s, it'd be kids sitting over here playing with comic books and sharing those things in person. Then you have another group of homies kicking hacky sack, right? And hacky sack since then has died away, right? It's like the Afro Ninjas project. Like, it ain't kicking like it used to, but there's still some people out there who talking about it, I'm sure, right? Then you had the homies who talking about their baseball cards and basketball cards and action figures and all of the above. And then it started to evolve as time went on and technology built. It started to be video games. And, keep pushing it. It was starting to be VR. Because remember when they came out with that Nintendo VR, it was all red and everybody wanted it and nobody got it. And it's kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm dating myself. But then, just that type of thing. That's what we're going through right now, is that same type of evolution where we've had that stage where it started off as being basketball cards or baseball cards, and then it started transitioning to be something more technical added to the project. And now we're with the AI building up and crypto, kicking off and doing what it's doing, everything's starting to come and be more full circle to be a bigger thing altogether. And we're even seeing that with Artifact, with the crypto kicks in real life, with the Air Force Ones. They're starting to see this thing become something so much more than just being about, yo, if you join this project, then you'll be a part of this type of community that does this and has this type of output. We're starting to see brands, legit legacy brands, start from the ground up and utilizing this technology that's helping push all different type of sectors come into this sector and helping develop it from the ground up as well. So I appreciate everyone who's shared their story and shared their perspective. I know it's not easy to jump up and talk about yourself in front of a room full of strangers all the time, but I appreciate you guys who did do so, because it's even enlightening me more so now than ever. And I'll say this before I jump off my soapbox. Like, this entire Mercury retrograde period for me, and if anybody pay attention to that, just know that I pay attention to those things. This entire Mercury retrograde has been such an enlightening experience for me, man. Like, I was traveling during Mercury retrograde. I was over in Tokyo talking to the homie Mero and the homie Cam in person and gathering their information from their perspective and helping me grow as an individual, just listening to them and their stories. And then I come back to LA and I'm meeting more people. I've run and back and forth to a lot of different other people who had their own sectors, like IRL Alpha, me going to their meetups for the last 2 weeks in a row and speaking to these different people and getting their perspective. I've just been having a lot of enlightening experiences this entire Mercury retrograde, and I'm seeing what it's doing for me, and I appreciate the information that I'm receiving and how it's helping me grow as a person, because I feel like each one teach one. I can now give that perspective to someone else that I've known, and hopefully it can help them grow in the same manner. Click, what's good, bro?
I'm Mercury retrograding all over this room right now.
Yo, you definitely are, man. You have been Mercury retrograding all across this room. No borders, you know what I'm saying? Leaving that residue exactly where it needs to be. I appreciate you, man.
Yo, Dre, you're on a roll tonight, man. We
Woke up.
turned this to a deep take. I've actually really appreciated this. I've really appreciated everything that's happened tonight. And now I want to invite some more people up to talk, man. Like, sorry, Chris, this isn't actually what we normally do. You kind of walked right into like a interview, but everybody was up here kind of just sharing their journeys. So we appreciate you just shooting from the like hip and just rolling along with us, man. Thank you for sharing. I swear, bro, we don't normally just like bring someone up and just interview them
And ask questions. We definitely don't. We just talk about, whatever comes up. But this is, like I said, man, it's something about this enlightenment that I've been receiving. Like, and I guess it's, even with the panel yesterday, just talking to people that I guess I wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to share space with. I can appreciate it. I can appreciate understanding someone else and talking to them about their perspective. So yeah, Chris, I apologize if you felt like I was starting to interrogate, but I'm soaking in, man, and I'm absorbing just so I can give
Dre,
back.
that's what I've been saying, man. It's that network, right? Like, once you sort of tap into that network and you sort of open yourself up to receiving the information that flows across that network, like there are all these nodes throughout this network that we can link up with, and it's really very useful to all of us to sort of connect in a meaningful way and be open and vulnerable and allow that information to be sort of uploaded into our head, right? Like, to be able to sort of wrap our heads around other people's experiences. And it's something that is really I think unique in this space, where you get to do that with people from all over the globe and all walks of life. And you don't know. I mean, there's no judgment. There's no prejudging someone because of the way they look, the color of their skin, the part of the world that they're from, because they're just like a fucking cartoon JPEG. Like, we're all just a bunch of JPEGs, and whether they're like, you know, sort of renditions of ourselves, like art renditions of who we actually are, like Click, or whether they're clones or Azukis or whatever, like it's just a picture. Nobody knows what you look like or where you're from or anything unless you've shared that. And so it's like you have to just take people with at face value and for what they say they are. And I mean, like, of course people can you know, not be telling the truth, but why? Like, what's the point in that? Like, that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're all doing here, and that is like, we're all just here to sort of vibe, and especially in spaces like this, like, that's why Bad Take's so badass, is like, we're all just here to kick it, you know, and like get to know each other better, and to talk about shit that we like, that shit that we want to fuck with, and that just so happens to be, you know, a project that we all share, but it's not exclusive to that. It's not like it doesn't have to be about that. It can be about anything. And I think that you know, sharing experiences, especially experiences in entree into Web3, is super rad, because you sort of get this, you sort of pick out this sort of common theme or common story, and it's like people come to this for a particular reason and they find something else here, and what they find here is a, like, connection, like honest, like brutally honest, real, authentic connection. And it surprises people. I think it really surprises someone that you can put yourself in a room like this, like you can put yourself in a spaces like this, and you can connect meaningfully with other people. And you know, and you can go deeper with that too. Like, you can take that connection like with you. You know what I mean? Like, you can take it with you as you sort of maneuver around the space, whether that be in you know, Discord, or if you're creating, you can like co-create together. And you know, that's, you're plugging yourself into something that's much larger than yourself, and it feels good. You know, it feels really fulfilling to be able to do that. And so you're doing it sort of your own volition, and you're connecting with people like in honest and meaningful ways. And I think a lot of people miss that, like a lot of, especially this day and age, like and especially those of us that are sort of, you know, somewhat middle aged, like out of uni and maybe mid career or whatever, or late, or never, or haven't really started a career. And it's like, you know, we were talking about this the other night in Zuki space, where, you know, a lot of those IRL connections are, there's a lot of quid pro quo there, especially like the connections from work. You know what I mean? Like, you're climbing the corporate ladder. There's ulterior motives. Like, there can be. It's not really as pure as connecting with someone here, and just around something that you guys both like. You know, like a shared interest. You know, there's no expectation there. There's no quid pro quo there. There's no like, I'm trying to, you know, finesse you for a raise or whatever. So yeah, man, it's really interesting to see how people get here, like get to this space, and then to see how that, like, people that get it, you know, people that get what this space is all about. And that's what it's all about, is like, I mean, you know, that connection, that meaningful connection, community, um, you know, like how that reveals itself to them, because once you're here and you're open to it, it does reveal itself to you, and you're like, damn, this, like, there's something here, like there's something real here. And it usually happens once you sort of take whatever that thing is that you came here for, like whatever that, whether it be like, I came here to make some money, or whatever, make a flip, or whatever it is that brought you here. You found something different, and you found something real, and it's a real connection. And so, yeah, dude, it's yeah, man, I've gone on a bit here, waffling on and on, but I think that it's a good point that you bring up, Dre. And that point is like, it's very interesting and enlightening to hear people's paths to this place that we all find ourselves here together now.
Very much so.
I'm here for the culture.
Me too, man. That's probably, I should put that in my fucking border. Like, that's exactly what I'm on, man. Like, the culture of it all, because all of this is encompassing culture for so many different places, so many different cultures, and coming together as one unified. I'm here for the fucking culture, for sure.
And it's weird because you get to create it, right? Like, it's not, you're not just consuming it, and you're not just like matriculating into it, but you're a co-creator of it. So you have like some self-determination and ownership in the culture that you're here vibing with, which is a lot different than like the opportunities that we've had in the past. Like, we come up to a culture that usually has existed for a while, like hip hop culture, or comic book collecting, or whatever whatever subcultures that you sort of fuck with. Like, those existed, and you just found them, and then you like kind of integrated yourself into them. But this one here is, it's fresh, it's new, it's brand new. Like, we're creating this in real time together, and that's a super special thing.
And
No, I agree.
the other good quote here is, "You can't buy culture." It's like, I like to say that when people get real excited about, most big brands coming into the space, and they start frothing at the mouth or something when people start talking about Amazon. Like, I don't think any of this stuff's like a foregone conclusion, and I think if you don't respect the space, or not to like be like a gatekeeper or anything like that, but like, if you don't just like throw your shit on the floor and be like, this is where I'm gonna build now, or whatever. Like, you gotta, like, ingrain yourself within the communities, and like learn the kind of unspoken rules and etiquette and shit. Yeah.
No, that's a fact too. There are no squatters allowed in the culture. You just can't come in, this is where I'm at now, this is what I'm doing. Like, you definitely have to ingrain yourself in order to know how to navigate correctly and efficiently. And that's it, man. That's what I'm here for too. Like, I think that was such an excellent statement. Even though I know you just threw it up there, lobbed it up there like that. I'm here for the culture. It's just the getting into this specific ecosystem, the specific brand, the specific project is for exactly what Ellen said. Like, the cultures that we grew up with have been around before we were even here, and we just were able to join it because we understood it. But this is a culture that's being created from the ground up, and it comes with these principles that I fully understand as an individual, being a part of Artifact. It's the passion that I have for this culture in this community, because these align with who I am as an individual specifically, like even my thought processes. So yeah, man, I'm here for the fucking culture. What's good, man? I'm probably gonna butcher that. Yeah, I ain't even gonna do it. What's good, my man?
Sushinigami.
Was good. I also wanted to share my entrees, I guess. I came to Web3. Wait, my dog's going crazy. I came into Web3 because of my wife, actually.
and she was the first one. She wasn't. She started as an artist. Oh, hold on. My dog's going crazy.
Yo, your dog said "fuck Web3." As soon as
No,
you
it's all
said
good.
Web3 twice, he barked.
We got kids and shit, man. We already know how that works over here.
Dude, I can barely get focused on one task at a time.
I have 2 dogs, so yeah, they're crazy, but I love them. So I came into Web3 because of my wife, and she was like, she started creating NFTs, and I think she was featured on OpenSea, I think middle of 2021. So I don't know. I saw her and I was like, what? Wow. It kind of blew my mind how, you know, people are kind of like collecting art digitally, and yeah. And then I think I saw clones teasers from Hypebeast or from whatever. And then that's kind of the first project where I really wanted to be a part of and got my interest peaked. So if you see my wallet, actually, my first NFT was a rug. It's called a Clones PX. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that. It's like a pixel clones. It's I think it was free or something. And yeah, they're a rug pull. But and then the second one I got, I guess my first entree was the Ozuki NFT, and I think that's where I kind of learned like Web3 communities and building a project together. And so, yeah, I think after that, I still, in my heart, I still wanted to get a clone so bad. So finally, yeah, and I'm not a whale, so that's why I kind of flipped my way and finally got a clone. But yeah, last night, back in the garden, I got myself a beans as well. So it's a good time to get a beans as well. But yeah, I've been learning so much. And oh yeah, since last year, I quit my Web2 job and I've been fully Web3 building a project called Mindblow On, and it's been an interesting journey. I love Web3 so much. I love the culture. I love the technology, the communities. Kind of a bit addicted to Web3, to be honest with you. Collecting JPEGs and now I'm making a little project called Clonezuki as well. So it's been a wild ride. It's been fun. Oh yeah, about collaboration. Zen Bon Zen from the Azuki community. He's building a Dream Zuki, and he hit me up as well. He saw my I think Clonezuki, and he borrowed my. He's using my traits for his next collection. So it's pretty wild how collaboration works here as well. It's what's it called, borderless, and it's fun. Overall, I think I'm just having fun right now.
No, we are like for real. This is breaking this down on this level, man. It's really, it's got my mind going, man. Like when you start doing things so much and you just become like an autopilot, right? Like I really enjoy meeting people, speaking to people, being the bridge in real life. So I've been doing that just like on autopilot for some time now, and I feel like I'm finally just allowing myself to cool down and sit down, turn off the engine, turn up the music, and just sit here and vibe, right? Like that's where I'm at with this situation now. That's why I'm asking these questions, because I'm really just fucking vibing with y'all, man, and it's really tapping into me. And I guess it's just a way of me refueling my tank for me to continuously go. But I appreciate you guys sharing this information, sharing this energy with me, because it's definitely giving me that refuel that I need. I was gonna say it's definitely topping me off, but that sounds hella terrible.
Yeah.
What I was saying. But no, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate everybody who's come up to speak about this stuff. Meryl, what's crack-a-lackin', my friend?
Yo, how's it going, GM?
Oh, he got the headphones on. Ninja headphones on.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Does it sound like shit? Does it sound like shit? It's these, I don't know, man. I think it's like the old audio cancellation. I'm just walking around the store right now, so if it's bad, I can jump on later. All right,
You
cool.
sound fine.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is my kind of level of conversation. This is the bad take I kind of like. Getting all deep and wet, so. The wet reference is because it's raining here, not because of anything else. But yeah. uh, I'm all about culture as well. Having traveled around so much, seeing different diverse kind of operating systems of the world and how common sense isn't a thing that you can just teach. You kind of absorb it, but it is also something that you have to teach. People don't know that you can't eat pork raw, right? So I have to dig at my brother because he went to university and he's like, oh, I feel sick. It's like, I think it's something I ate. It's like, did you eat pork and did you cook it fully? It's like, no, I had it medium rare. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. So I don't know why I'm talking about that right now, but I think there was an interesting analogy with this space. And it reminds me of the early like gaming spaces where you would like the TeamSpeak sound. I can't remember who had that on earlier. Like that's as a throwback. I don't know if anyone else used TeamSpeak back in the day. It was like pre Discord and it was like it was just like an internet gamers kind of chat platform where you could actually use you like press caps and you play games and stuff. Anyway, the point is back then, I don't know, gaming was not as mainstream as it is now, and you had actors come in who would try to buy their way in, look like the culture but not be it, So yeah, I guess I'm just seeing that kind of analogy right now.
No, and that's a great analogy as well because I feel like I've gone through those cycles in life where I've seen those things as well. Like I grew up in a time when gaming wasn't that cool to be a part of, but the people who fucked with it knew how cool it really was, right? And even like I said with the people doing the hacky sack stuff or the people doing the trading card stuff, all of those things have been kind of ostracized in a certain type of way where other people felt like, or the mainstream quote unquote felt like it wasn't the coolest thing to do, but the people who were in it didn't care because they felt how cool it was and they knew how cool it was, so they were just a part of it to do it. And now if you look at things, right, a lot of the stuff back then that wasn't necessarily the cool thing has taken over to be the cool thing. Gaming, streaming, fucking Marvel, everything, comic books, superheroes, all of the above, right? Everybody's talking about that. I always say this when I was in Miami for Art Basel. I went in. I'm so used to going to the club, and we went to the club after like an exhibit we had went to with the founders, and we're so used to being in the club where it'd be like rappers and basketball players and all of that type of stuff. Being in the VIP of the club, you go in there, it's all the streamers and FaZe Clan and all of their homies out there like in the club. It's a totally different environment. So the things that were deemed not cool at one point have now taking the crown of what cool is in culture. And I believe and I feel like I've always been a part of those things before they were the mainstream cool thing to be a part of. I always had some type of a natural ability to detect what the next dope shit was before it was necessarily considered dope shit. And I have a resume of being with and helping build the culture of those things that I deemed being dope at those times. And I think this is just another iteration of that same thought process. This whole Web3 thing, this whole community building situation, this whole culture builder situation, it's the next big thing before everybody knows because they don't necessarily understand it now. But it will come a point where it clicks for them. And then they're like, yo, this is it. And then we'll see the takeoff of this being a mainstream situation as well. So I said this before and I know people hate to hear it. I said this when I was talking to Compound earlier on the phone. Like, we really are that early. We really are. And like I said too earlier, I appreciate everyone who's here early with me being able to share their stories to keep to keep topping us off so we can keep going in this thing together.
So you're a cool connoisseur.
I guess so. I'll take that. But it's always been about the culture. Like I said when I was talking about Sean Heron earlier, him and I throwing events and having artists come through Cincinnati, Ohio, bro. If you can think about what Cincinnati is, it's probably exactly what you're thinking about. And we had people coming there just to experience what we felt like was cool, and other people necessarily didn't get it at the time, but we did. So we constructed whatever we needed to give people a hub to experience that in real life. And that's what the whole point was about it. Like, just being able to do things that we felt like was cool and present it to other people so they can maybe catch on if they wanted to, or, you know, experience and be like, oh, I tried it. I ain't really like that. So I moved on. But that's where we are. It's something about it, man. It's something about tapping into that energy and knowing and planting seeds and nourishing those seeds, giving it the water, giving it the light, giving it the love to grow into whatever it is that we felt like we could see it growing into, and then having other people experience that growth as well, and being able to appreciate that life that was being blossomed from that inception thought seed. So yeah, I guess it is a cool kind of, I guess so. Y'all throwing all types of slogans for me tonight. I'm taking them all in. I received them all. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. It reminds me of like I dropped into Nairobi for some work, Nairobi, Kenya, and you know you kind of explore, you kind of get a feel of the city, the people, what the norm is, and then you try to find that place where all the cool kids go, right? You find that place and you start meeting people, and I guess you start engaging with those communities and those cultures, and you understand that there's a lot of common interests or integration, kind of like integrating points which you and the person you're meeting can interface on. And for me, that's like we're just bacteria trying to, like, you know, make sense of each other. And then we just grow in that petri dish, and you know, they're doing music, they're doing fashion, they've been influenced by similar things on the other side of the world that I have been, without actually us meeting, and we're kind of talking about it, and you know, enjoying the progress of, oh, did you see that thing that guy dropped, you know? So I think that's really cool as part of a culture, as a culture can have a life of its own and perpetuate itself through time and space to be able to touch other people, you know? And there is, yeah, everyone's been through different cultures, whether it's their company culture, their sports team culture, you know, their family culture. These are all just essences of how we interact with each other. So I've always been very conscious of like startup culture, having been in startup most of my career, as a choice to avoid corporate culture, because I'd rather be a big gear in a small machine than a small gear in a big one, and having more like more learning opportunities and responsibilities, so that I can kind of, I don't know, be selfish with it, right? I can actually be part of this thing. I want to put the visual direction here, or I want to create this product. But truth is, they don't care sometimes, right? I want to be more, you know, I want to work with recycled plastics more. It's like, nah, doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's not within our cost. You know, financially it doesn't make sense, so we're not going to do it. It's like, oh, okay. And then a part of you dies a little bit. So yeah, because I guess like protecting yourself and engaging with other interfaces is always an important component of that.
No, that's a bar too. That was like almost like a hip hop verse, right? Like if you caught the analogies that were being said within the verse, then you understood how powerful the words were. And those, you dropped some bars there, and I feel you. I feel that. So yeah, man.
He said, I'd rather be a big gear in a small machine than a small gear in a big machine. And I fucking felt that. Because I've been, dude, okay, so I've been in the military, right? You're about the smallest gear possible, and you're replaceable in the biggest machine possible, right? When you're in the Army, you are replaceable gear. I've been in the corporate world. I've been in a project manager, small gear, big machine, right? But I really like that analogy, man. I'd rather be a big gear in a small machine. a small gear and a big machine. That's fire. Wrote that down mentally.
But no, even what you said, like, you know, when you're part of that startup situation and you bring in ideas that you think should be implemented, and other people might be like, oh, that's not what we're interested in, or that's not where we're taking this. And it might be an idea that you hold near and dear to your heart, and you can see how, if executed, how it can affect the community in such a positive way, such a positive manner. But that's also part of it, being able to be like, all right, cool, let me chill, let me see what direction we're going, start from scratch, and see what ideas I can execute on and bring into to make this thing jump off, right? Like, even within
this is my gear. There are many like it, but this gear is mine.
Exactly.
This is my gear. There are many like it. This gear is mine.
But that's a fact. Like, even within this community, oh shit, he sucked that. That's crazy. Even within this community, it's been many a times where I've come in and said, yo, we should do this. We should bring this up. Let's have this type of event. I think this will be dope for the community. And I'll pour all types of time and energy into it. And just to get the response of, yeah, no, we're going to pass on that. And I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get it. But you know, you got to be like, all right, cool. What's the beneficial side of doing this with and for the community? Let me scrap that. Let me keep it moving. What's next? But that's part of being a gear within a bigger thing, period, regardless of what size you are. That's the whole point of it all. We got some fire conversation. You know what, man? This did turn into a deep take, man. Whenever you let me take the helms, bro, I'm taking it to some deep shit. We going making a left and going down the rabbit hole, baby. Buckle up. I don't give a fuck if you enjoy it or not. This is where we are.
Pontificating and whatnot.
110%, man.
Dude, I think we've been teamworking this week. Like you had a few nights where you had the IRL events and we were holding it down in here, and you came back from those events with a bunch of energy, dude. So I really appreciate where you've taken the space tonight. It's been really awesome. I've actually been in the background. We're in the Discord as well, watching the game and trying to get people in there and getting all that set up too. Like we're doing multiple things at once, and I'm listening in. So, nah, bro, we could change the title of the deep take if we need to. I'll do it again.
No. Don't get too wild. Don't get too wild. It's Friday night, man. That's way too much. I think it was the nap, man. Me taking that nap, because like you said, I have been doing all these things, meeting all these people, and exchanging all this energy with a lot of different folks. So I had to recharge, and the nap gave me a whole nother gear to tap into. But like I said, I'm sitting. This is the time where I'm sitting, actually allowing myself to regroup, allowing myself to be embraced by the music in the vehicle, right? You ever had those times where you pull up to your house and you just listen to a song and you don't want to get out the car until that song is over? Like, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm just actually, embracing the music, the frequencies that I'm around right now. So I appreciate y'all for helping me even walk through this journey for sure.
Yeah, bro. I think we've all had a time when we got home, or at least just getting home from some drive or some work where we're just sitting in the car. I've been in the car for 30 minutes sometimes and realized I should probably get out and go in the house.
That's a fact.
Especially after long days of work or just stressful days. Sometimes, I don't know. Oh, bro, I got a lot of DJ friends, right? I DJ as well, and a lot of producer friends. So when they make music, they'll send you, like, usually just listen to each other's music, see how it sounds. They'll send it to you and they'll ask you to do the car test, right? Because shit hits different in the car. It's a real thing. When your friends send you, new songs that they've made or anything they've produced, they'll legit ask you to go sit in the car and listen to it, because everybody knows like things just hit different in the car. I don't know, especially if you got a good sound system. So
that's a fact. It's definitely a mixing and mastering tactic, because you'll be in the studio thinking you got a banger, you get in the car and that bitch be flat. There's a tire with a nail in it for sure.
Yeah, it's got to sound good in the car, because not everybody's gonna be listening to. Nobody's gonna be listening to the shit in the studio.
Right. Nobody has the same equipment they have in the studio. They need the joint to bang in the car. I thought Jonah was just sitting here engagement farming us, and I sent him an invite.
He should be playing Zelda. Actually, it's what he should be doing. I was about to call him out.
I am playing Zelda.
That's my boy. Good for you, Jonah.
Jonah.
Good for you, dude.
Hey, go in the Discord and stream it, bro. Let us watch.
I don't have a capture card, or I would.
That would be fire.
You can't just share your screen?
No, 'cause it's not a PC. It's a Nintendo Switch, so you need a capture card because it's a third-party device.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know that.
How is it though, for real? I still, before you tell me anything, right? I still haven't completed Breath of the Wild, so don't go too deep into the spoilers. But
It's
how is it?
fantastic, and I actually didn't finish Breath of the Wild either. But
Same.
when because it's so long, and also I usually only I only play Nintendo Switch for like flights and travel because I like having something to do on a plane.
Yeah.
But this game, I even if I don't finish it, I'm compelled to give it $70 because like it's not donating to charity because I get a product, but it's like if I want someone like Nintendo to keep making things of this level,
Yeah.
I feel compelled. Like as someone who works in the industry, I feel compelled to give them $70 because it's sort of like even if you like it and you don't buy it and you're just watching it, you're not actually. It's not like Nintendo needs the money, but I want them to build the future. Like Nintendo is the closest thing to Disney compared to anything else, and they're going to be doing a lot more movies and theme parks and stuff. And I
Oh
want to
yeah.
see them really do it. So I'm sure this game is probably going to make $2 billion. I don't know how long, but maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But they'll sell at least 30 million copies.
That's crazy. Is it? I mean, everybody on my timeline is talking about how good it is, but like you said, and like I said, I haven't finished Breath of the Wild, and I was like, yo, I don't want it just to be like the same type of Marvel Cinematic Universe situation where if I haven't seen Iron Man, then I'm lost because I'm jumping to Avengers.
I don't think it'll be lost. The intro didn't seem like it connected to Breath of the Wild. Really, it's like the intro basically is like, hey, we found this ancient ruin under the castle. What does it all mean? And then this thing wakes up, and then the story starts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to jump into it too. Breath of the Wild was way just so vast. It was
This
dope.
is probably twice the size of that game.
See, not
Like
seems
it's not
And
only
even
because
more
it's not
complex.
only yeah, it's more complex and like I haven't even left this one island and it's in like the sky. So if you would jump off of the any of these islands, you land on the ground and it's still you're not dead. Like you're in that area of the world and it's just as big as the aerial world.
that's crazy. See, that
Yeah,
makes me want to
it's
finish Breath of
insane.
the Wild just so I can. If I'm gonna do something, if I'm gonna go deep, I might as well go in deep into somewhere I already jumped into.
Yeah. It's really nice. I'll tell you that like this Twitter stuff, like, well, Twitter's not frustrating, but being in the space that I work in Web3 and Web2 is a little frustrating because most Twitter spaces only give a shit about uh, scams or things that have no relevancy to anyone within a week, and feels like Fox or CNN. And I've considered many times. In fact, I considered it a few hours ago of just like not quitting Twitter, but just quitting Twitter Spaces altogether, aside from the ones that I do in gaming, and just sticking to that niche and completely forgetting all this other stuff because it's very tiring.
It sounds like you need more bad take in your life, bro. You need
Yeah,
more
yeah, like this
recharges.
stuff is cool. This is like chilling, but it's like literally, I literally like got sent this thing and it was discovered that before the CryptoPunks were ever made, this group made a video game. No one's ever seen it other than like the 40 people who played the game. It's still live on the Apple App Store. And I'm like, dude, this is a crazy find, and no one gives a shit. It's not like you guys need to, but they were like, well, how is that relevant to this guy who just scammed people out of $3.8 million? I'm like, I don't know. You're only the 50th fucking space that's covered it. Are you guys fucking forensic experts? No, I don't think your take fucking matters then.
No, you know what? That's a great point too, because it is when it comes to like a lot of these Twitter spaces, they do become echo chambers, and that's why I don't necessarily subscribe to them. Like I don't even check and see what Twitter
I'm pretty
spaces
much
are
gonna
out
stop.
there.
Like it literally, I'm wasting time in there. And I was playing Zelda and I heard this, and I was like, why am I there? Like, why I could be working on a video, or working on our newsletter, or working on a media piece, or looking at an investment, or playing another game, or just anything else. It is a complete waste of time. And people think there's like this FOMO that if you're not in this space, you don't get like known. Most of the people who have the highest engagement almost never show up to Twitter Spaces. They just do very good video and written content. So I'm just sitting here wondering, like, what the fuck? What's the point?
No. I mean, like I said, I guess you're in the wrong Twitter Spaces for sure.
Well, some people do both,
I just
Jonah.
pulled
You do
out.
pretty good on both. So someone who's got you on notifications, you got pretty good content, and your spaces are obviously really good as well, especially the replays and going back and
Oh, they're
listening.
super niche though.
Yeah,
They're not even like
exactly.
spaces really.
That's kind of how it's really turned though. You remember how at the very beginning everyone wanted to paint it with a wide brush and wanted to be like a metaverse expert and an NFT expert and run their own marketing agency all in one like sitting. And so like now it's got to be like people are getting called out too soon now. So like they have to be super niche, and otherwise like they're not going to make it. Like it's just not. It's just too saturated of like to do these broad tweets and just the engagement farming. It's just not good enough anymore.
I don't think unless you are like Mario Nawfal, which you need to buy bots to do that, and even he's niche. He's politics, which it's not niche technically by size, but it's niche by subject. But I think you really have to pick a lane in some way, at least in the beginning, right? At least I think in the beginning, pick a lane and then broaden your horizon from there. But like most people just want to be a celebrity or just call people out, but they're not really calling people out. And here's like the hilarious cycle because I work in media. That's literally my job, so I know how this works. It's you need for someone like that who's just a clout space, you literally need people to continuously scam in order to feed your content. And so they only talk about that content not because they actually give a shit, but because it's very good for their search. And then the person who's scamming really likes being talked about because bad people who do that, they're not just trying to make money, they're trying to get attention, right? It's both. It's a game for them. And so they're literally playing into that hand, and it's a vicious cycle that makes you look like Fox or CNN but without any information.
Damn, comp. What kind of space are we in? Who are we in this
Oh no,
vicious
you guys
cycle
are
again?
just chilling. You're vibing.
Yeah,
This is
so
different. I'm
Jonah.
talking about spaces that have an agenda to like, hey, let's bring up fucking Jimmy from Poo Poo Coin. Here he is, and then they talk to him like he's an expert, and he's like, actually, I work at Chipotle. It's I'm just really really good at reading Etherscan.
It reminds me of the Kevin Robian days on like Tezos, Jonah, and like the clubhouse. Like you remember that? Like that's what it reminds me of. It's like if you know, you know.
Yeah. No,
Wait,
Jonah.
what reminds you of Kevin?
Just like people coming in and shilling like different coins, like at this like point in time, people are like really getting really passionate about certain coins, and they'll come on and be like pumping a coin and not really mentioning that they're holding like a gigantic bag and might be like dumping it at that current point, or just those classic Kevin moves in the clubhouse days.
Look, I
Click.
agree with you in principle what you're saying, but like Kevin Marabi is a special case. I know him very well, and he probably has not dumped a single Tez. He's not a dumper, and he doesn't really. He shills Tezos, but he's got no. He's got skin in the game because he uses Tezos and stuff, but he's got principles. I don't always agree with them, but like he does have like principles, and he does back up what he's saying. He's not just like a mindless. He's not shilling like a shit coin with literally no use. It's not like a meme coin. It's a thing. I don't know. He's part of the he's one of the reasons I discovered Tezos in the first place was on Clubhouse when he was like arguing with like Alan Henna and whoever else. I don't know. There was that one space that was like ridiculous with like a few hundred people in there, and you're just getting like dogged on. And I don't have any particular like him and I have our differences, and I don't ever want to be seen as someone who's like defending him because I think he can be a big asshole. He is a big asshole, but he's useful.
I would say this: I never heard of Click, or I never heard of Tesla until Click came in here shilling it. So
yeah, it's either everyone knows about Tezos and they have a good feeling about it or a bad feeling about it, and it all pretty much stems from Kevin. Like if you were on Clubhouse, you learned about Tezos from Kevin, and like that was just kind of like the thing. I mean, he was like one of the first people to like be talking about Hickenunk and like all the very first like Tezos platforms at the very like way back in the day.
Yeah, I was there too. I remember it very fondly.
John makes a
Y'all
good
were
point though,
fucking
dude.
bullies though, for real, man. You couldn't even like some rooms you like mentioned like, you know, we're all like sitting around crying about paying like $200 to like mint a thing, and then we're like, have you guys like checked out Tezos yet? It's pretty cool. We do the same shit over there. It's just like cheaper, and then you get like ostracized or like, I don't know, dunked on.
ETH maxis, huh, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
We like our $200 gas fees. Get the fuck out of here. There's no volume on your chain. Dude, they say everything. I'm an ETH maxi though too, but um, no, dude, Jonah makes a good point. And I when I first started getting into Twitter Spaces, I would go into a lot. And this is nothing against other spaces, and I don't ever talk down or bad about other spaces, but it wasn't like I would go in and I would want to go up, but I realized that I have to adapt to whatever the topic is of that week, and I have to figure out what's going on, and I have to just get into the current drama and the current like cycle of that week, like he's talking about, and figure out how to add commentary on it. Otherwise, I was not going to go up on stage, right? I'm not going to go up on stage on a topic I don't care about or want to talk about and pretend I'm knowledgeable on it, or go do the research needed to go talk about a fucking dramatic topic of the week, like a lot of things, like a lot of spaces do talk about. And it actually kind of led me to this point where I'm like, no, dude, at the end of my day, I kind of want to get together in the evening with all the homies and just kind of talk about whatever. I don't want it to be structured in any way. Anything can come up, any kind of topic. I don't want it to have planned speakers and all these like rules and everything and hands up and all this shit. And it was actually what led to Bad Take, right? Because I felt like it was a rat race in these Twitter spaces to go in them all day and try to keep up with the current fucking trending topic, when it was, I don't care about what is exactly going on here. I do care about the space and I do care about what's happening here, but I don't care about the drama part. So, Jonah, I think that you have done an amazing job in a lot of these Twitter spaces, making a name for yourself and being knowledgeable on every topic that does come up. But I understand why you're kind of done with the rat race of topics, bro, because it gets fucking exhausting. And that's
He
kind
was
of,
doing that on Clubhouse.
dude, yeah, he's been doing it, but that's kind of why we end up in here while those serious spaces at night are going in on each other and they're having these battles and they're planning you up against Double Ape and trying to get you guys to battle for drama. Like, I'm in here just
Oh,
chilling.
double A just knows that I get significantly more engagement than him, and we talk about it in DMs. I'm aware of what he does. He's fine, but
No, yeah,
I,
he's good.
I will tell you that like the other side of what they don't tell you, as someone who actually does run a Twitter space, I just call it a Twitter podcast because I don't like. I literally do 60 minutes. I've had some of the best guests probably like in gaming period. I've had people who've run $60 billion companies. I've had people who've been bankers of like the biggest banks. I've had scientists. I've had AI people. I had an AI guy this week who's a genius, but I run them for 60 minutes around there roughly. It's just recorded. I don't even really let people come up and speak, and I just use the Twitter recording and use this software and put it on Spotify. And I write a little journal about it, or I do some content on it. But the thing that I make very clear every time is I'm getting paid to do those generally. I have a sponsor. And the thing that they're not telling you on these spaces is most of you are giving them free clout that they then make money on. Like, I hate to tell people, like, and I know this for a fact because I've talked to some of them, most of those spaces are sponsored. And you'll notice based on who's on the stage if they're sponsored. And imagine that you are on a talk show for days and days and days, not like a normal radio show where you're there once, right, to give your take and then, you leave. Imagine you're a consistent guest and you're not getting paid, they are. So you're literally not only wasting your time, but you're making someone else money because you are there and you're not getting any cut of that, right? And they're not even disclosing that as a sponsorship. Every space I do that's paid, I have to legally, based on FTC laws, disclose it. We do. Most spaces do not disclose it, and you're literally there on stage giving your take for free when someone else is getting a check. And that's what blows my mind, is that people don't realize that like that's happening, because some of these people make a good amount of money. Like it's pretty insane.
Yeah. So that what you're telling me is we need to throw our stuff up on Spotify and start and get some checks.
I make my money. Well,
Nobody makes money on Spotify.
No, yeah.
No.
Unless you're
I'm
Joe
not saying
Rogan.
I'm not saying the money's coming from Spotify. I'm saying that we need to convert these spaces over to actual podcasts and throw them up, and then use that as leverage to get the money.
That's not really how it works. If you want to, there's two schools of thought. Either one, you are an expert in a specific subject, and therefore you'll get paid because a certain client base is listening to you that they're trying to reach. That's my method. Or the other method is you are extremely entertaining. And that's not to say you aren't, but there are different measurements here. Because I am in a very specific high value niche, meaning either investors, game developers, or people who want to spend money on games are listening to me, I may have less viewership. Like my Twitter impressions are about 4 to 4.5 million a month. Sometimes 5, which is considered small in normal video world, right? That's considered small. That's not considered big. But because I have a niche that I fill in a top bracket, I can command a bigger sales fee because they're trying to ascertain that audience that's likely to listen to me and then spend money on their product, right? I don't think you're doing that here. If you are, you can pivot to that way, but you won't be able to have discussions like we are here. You'll have to be really pointed in the way that I do it. But if you're building a podcast that's entertainment and personality based, you need to have double my numbers, because now you're not a sponsor based on a specific subject matter, so like targeted audience. Now the idea is you just have such a large audience that it doesn't matter what the target is because that exposure pays the bill regardless. And so that's really hard to do. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm just saying it is hard as fuck to do. And most of those people will never, ever, ever be able to do it on Twitter Spaces because there's not enough distribution from Twitter and export functions that allow for a conversion model to really work. So I put the stuff on Spotify, LinkedIn, my Substack, and my direct business calls because it's targeted. You would probably either have to be big in your own right on your Twitter through your postings or your videos, or be pretty sizable on YouTube, or some other creator format like Twitch. It's just really hard. It's like really hard to do. I find that it's probably easier to be a subject matter expert and then target your sales that way, but you'll always have a limited audience. So what I am doing is I'm a subject matter expert. I make enough money. I then can reinvest in the company and find other subject matter experts in other categories and then build a suite of subject matter experts based on what they specialize in. And then I aggregate those user numbers and our files, and then I sell against that analytics, and then I'll find sponsors or product placement relating to those subject matters and take a cut off the top. Sort of similar to agency or media formats, but that takes a long time, and I've been doing this for a long time.
So what you're telling me is we need to put all this. I know I heard you. I appreciate you.
Well, I mean, you could be like so like one thing you could do if you're a CloneX guy, maybe you could broaden your show to talk about the sneaker culture and multiple brands and talk about their sales. And then all of a sudden you're a connoisseur of the sneaker game, and then sneaker apps pay you money for that exposure.
No, I feel you. I always, please believe that I've thought about these methods and these pathways of taking and doing these type of things. But the one thing about this space, the one thing about being here is it comes from a form of passion. And once it becomes something that I think about in a way where it's like, oh, let me generate revenue by doing this or doing that, it becomes work. And then I think about it in a different way than I do now. Me sitting here and talking to you guys about these things and these different subjects, and then even converting over to sneakers is just a natural flow. And the natural flow feels so much better than me being like, all right, I got sponsored by Adidas to talk about the soccer shoes. So let me aim the conversation to go about soccer, so then I can infuse the transition to the soccer shoes and how great they are. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother situation for me. But I definitely understand what you're saying, and I agree with it to a certain extent. But I think that's one thing we have here for real, and we're building this from the ground up. It's something that's different, it's genuine, and it's passionate. And that's the energy that carries everything over to be something that could be even larger than anything we've ever seen before. And I truly believe that's what we have going right here, right now. Having this type of community of people who can be a part of this growth, and it's next level. You can't quantify that for sure. And I do. Speaking of shoes, I want to ask: did you pick up the Air Force Ones, Jonah?
No, I admittedly spent several $1,000s in meme coins, and I have some of that money. I didn't lose much money, but it's I I didn't talk about it on Twitter Spaces, but I privately I privately degen, just because it's funny to do it privately. Like I don't like talking about my trades because it's weird, but yeah, private degen.
Damn! Did you get the crypto kicks in real life? The CIRLs? You're a
Crypto
huge video game dude, bro. I know
crypto
this is
kicks
relevant.
IRL. I know about the Air Force Ones. Is this like the Takashis? What's this? Is this separate?
Oh, is it separate?
Are you talking about the Nike thing? That's not. Didn't they push that back a week?
See,
Yeah,
my
that's on
man
the
Jonah,
15th on the Air Force One.
that's Das Swoosh. That's a whole nother
That's something
situation.
else.
No, we talking about the CIRLs. I don't want to go. We can come back. Chris, what's up, man? You got your hand up. I'm gonna jump to you real quick before I go into this conversation with Jonah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask on the subject of like sponsored spaces or sponsored anything. How do you filter, especially like in this space, like just the junk and the scams from like people that want to sponsor you from people that like you trust? Like, do you yourself vet it, or do you have somebody that vets it?
Yeah, I vet it. That doesn't mean I'm sure there'll be a time where I have a bad sponsor, but I have multiple calls with them. I also I I usually don't take the smaller ones because not because I don't believe in the smaller ones, but some of them have significant risk associated. But um, I also prefer sponsors that are longer term if I can manage them. I also know that if my podcast is too sponsored, then it no longer feels like it's worth listening to because people get annoyed by the ad reads. So I've diversified the sponsorship model into, it was our Substack because I have a newsletter that people read, and then Twitter throttled that because they were nervous about Substack competing with them. So I worked around that by baking the sponsorship of the written into, you can sponsor my threads and the newsletter at the same time. So you get the reach of Twitter plus my subscriber base on Substack. Um, yeah. And then we've done some stuff around, we looked at the idea of managing other people's social media accounts, like a back end media group, because there are several larger blockchain company profiles that are not like attuned to gaming, but they're selling in gaming. Um, and while they may not want to sponsor me, they do need help with their socials. And I may just hire people I know, manage their accounts, and we take a fee on it.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for the answer. I don't listen to Mario Spaces, but I did see that he had like a thread on sponsor like for his space today. I don't usually click on him, but I clicked on this one and it was like 6 different sponsors. And I was wondering if he did an ad read for that, because if so, that would have taken so long.
Well, he probably wouldn't, but his deals are multi-purpose. I could do deals like his, but some of them are a little shady. So what he does is that he takes like investor advisory deals where some of those deals are not just them paying him, but they'll pay him in like equity or tokens because they're actually trying to raise money or sell because they're trying to launch. So his group will take the equity or the token. They probably have some preferred deal, and they can just probably liquidate before others, which take that for what you will, right? But that is one method in which it's two purposes. One, because if they do sell the product, you might actually end up making more money if you think that they can sell it. And two, showing that level of sponsorship even if they don't know the terms of the deal, may make other companies that are listening or watching the content more interested or more have a higher appeal to wanting to give him money because someone else did first, even if they don't know what the terms of the deal are. So sometimes people take sponsorships that pay dog shit just for the fact that they can then get a better pay from someone else based on like first mover.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, so a lot of people are using Kick right now, Jonah. What's the difference right now? Are they just Kick doing a massive push to kind of take market share from Twitch, and how is that even working?
It's working a little bit, but we'll see how long it lasts. Kick is a subsidiary of a gambling company called Stake.com, so they don't make their money on Kick; they make their money in gambling, which is a very profitable business, but one that also has some ethical questions when you have games that kids may watch. Whether you believe that or not doesn't really matter to me. I like Kick, and like, look, they need to make money, and it is legal in some form or fashion. And if it's legal, then what can you do about it? Um, I don't know if they'll completely take market share from Twitch. The numbers on Twitch are down, but so are numbers for all streaming platforms. But I think if you if you're new, like, I'm only on Twitch just because I'm too lazy to do Kick, not because I think that Kick is bad. But if you're really new, you're probably not going to make it on Twitch. And there's a reason why being a quote unquote influencer in Web3 is pretty valuable, even if the market is this small. And that is, it's better to be the king of a pond than a little guppy in the ocean. And the reality is, most people on Twitch will never get seen because their discovery is fucking terrible. Versus, even if Kick's discovery is also bad, there are less people streaming on it, so you have a higher chance of getting searched. Also, Twitter to Kick, if you're in Web3, funnels a lot easier than Twitter to Twitch, because again, the branding is that most NFT people don't like or don't understand gaming, and Twitch is labeled as a gaming service, versus NFT and Web3 people are definitely fucking degenerate gamblers, and that associates very well with Stake.com and Kick. And so it just has a higher association. So if you're new and you're not sure what you're going to do, then you should try Kick. Also, it has a better pay split for now. I don't know if that'll change, but for now. So you can earn more money with less followers on Kick. But the advantage of Twitch is that, one, you have the Amazon Web Service backing it in Amazon, right? Amazon's a big company. They have flagship services. Twitch has an ability to make tools faster than Kick, assuming that Kick shows that they're willing to compete with Twitch. Because if Kick actually does take market share, then Twitch will actually get off their ass and build something. And they have a much larger team at Twitch than they do at Kick. And the other thing is that if you're more trying to work within Web 2, then you will try and go on Twitch, because that is where most general consumers live and where search lives. Um, but Kick is not a bad place to start. And look, if Kick dies, this is what people like always like say. It's like, oh well, Kick's not gonna last a long time. The servers, they can't afford the servers. Let's assume that's true. Even if it is true, if you build an audience on Kick and Kick dies, there's a good chance you'll be able to convert some of that audience to Twitch, which will give you a higher placement on Twitch than if you started on Twitch in the first place. So I think Kick has a shot. I think people misunderstand how much money gambling actually makes, and so because of that, they think Kick doesn't have a lot of money. But rest assured, Stake makes a lot of fucking money. There's a lot of gamblers in the world, and as long as the government doesn't crack down on them, they'll continue to grow.
I knew we were going to get a fire breakdown from Jonah on that.
I'm about to say, you shooting in the gym with that one. That's what's up.
Why the fuck does Coinbase take so long to process Arbitrum Ethereum?
Bro, I put in $2,000 into there for ETH. I was only able to withdraw like 987 to my MetaMask. I don't know why the fuck I can't withdraw the other 9 something out of Coinbase and into my MetaMask. And right now it says there's 0 money in my Coinbase, but I know that's not true because there's 9 something and it says it under my assets, but it doesn't show in my wallet. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with it.
I literally I sent 0.1 back to Coinbase over Arbitrum, and then I logged into Coinbase and I just assumed it was gonna be there, and it wasn't, and I had like a fucking little mini freak out. I thought I just like threw away like $200 to the wrong address or something, and like what the fuck? Literally every time I've sent ETH over Arbitrum, it's like, dude, I hit the button on my laptop and like my screen will still say it's processing. I'll get a notification on my phone that like I sent something like instantly. What the fuck are they doing?
Yo, Jonah, did you buy like from your bank? Because you'll have
Yeah,
like
yeah, from my Chase
you'll have
account.
an immediately ready balance, which you could probably use, and then the other one's gonna take like 5 to 7 days, bro.
That's so fucking stupid.
It is.
Are you
Connect your
serious?
PayPal, and the whole balance will be immediately ready from PayPal. PayPal's.
I give Chase so much money. What the fuck?
I know. So but it's only $1,000 you can do max on PayPal. If you want like
It's
the
fine.
big,
I to be honest, they're probably in this specific case, they're probably saving me for myself. I loaded up 2,000 to go buy into a meme coin. So I guess I'll just go spend 900 of it, and if I make money, great. If not, I'll put the other 900 into some NFT at some point or some gaming project or whatever it is.
no,
Luxo fixes that. I'll just say that.
just no.
I decided to
Oh,
play around on Arbitrum because I was sick of gas fees on ETH. I was like, I'm gonna go check out some shit coins on these other chains. I'm sure there's plenty of nonsense to get into, and
gas is great right now, bro. I just sold some shit coins while the gas was down. And then, yeah, dude, you guys, the quickest way to get ETH on Coinbase is to do a wire transfer from your bank. It takes like 30 minutes, and the limit's like 25,000. It's got to be during banking hours, of course, though.
I was talking about like sending ETH from like my MetaMask back into Coinbase.
But why? It's Ethereum, but you're sending it to Arbitrum, an Arbitrum address.
It's the same. Coinbase uses the same deposit address most of the time. I checked anyway, but yeah, you can specify which network.
Yeah, as long as it's the same deposit address, then they know where to put it. Yeah, bro, that sucks. It's 200. Yo, I send $200 to random shitcoin and lose it all the time. At least you're just trying to transfer it back to.
Well, that's because I want to put it into shit coins, but I'm trying to be discreet about it, and I don't need it publicly linked to my name and shit. You know, I'm trying to, fuck.
Trying to degen responsibly.
Everybody degen into this shitcoin without it having their ENS on it is what they're doing. The whole time,
you gotta send it to you gotta send it to the exchange, and then you send it back out to a different wallet.
The whole timeline is buying this one shitcoin, but not from their ENS, and then putting it on the timeline.
That's so funny.
It's so true. Guys, Dre, you got anything more you want to talk about? I'm gonna close this out. We're gonna watch the rest of this Laker game in the Discord. We'll spend some time with Lil Shaw. Everybody needs to spend some time with their families tonight.
Jonah needs to pick up some crypto kicks, man. For you to be this much in video games, like you, and for you to understand this sector so much, especially with tie into games, for you not to have a clone and not to be a part of the lore that's coming along with owning these sneakers, like, man, you gotta deep dive into this. I think you would thoroughly enjoy this over anyone else, to be honest.
Yep. Spending all this money on these shit coins, Dre.
Right.
Delete it. I tagged him in my meme from today.
That's a good meme.
I had Thread Guy in it.
He probably loved that.
Yeah, he slept and he's like, I did not get tagged in this. I did not.
You're sleeping,
he's funny. I think he's at the game right now. He's at the Laker game.
Oh, that's lit.
Bro, someone screenshot of Aiden Ross and tagged Thread Guy and it does.
They do. They literally look the same.
They do, bro. I was laughing so hard.
Nah, man. Use that shitcoin money, buy you a pair of CIRLs in the colorway that you like.
How much are these CRILs?
Which it depends on the colorway that you want and which size you wear.
Yeah, what size?
Bro, I got like wacky feet. I got these fucking wide feet, like widescreen television feet. That's why I never really buy shoes online, because I gotta go to fucking Foot Locker and try them on and annoy the salespeople because I got these weird. I wear a 10 and
You
a
got to get
half
some of the
wide.
melons. The melons that 3D scan your foot, that 3D project. They're really sick. I got a pair of those.
Oh, that sounds pretty
Yeah,
cool.
they're
Yeah, I have a
amazing.
10 and a half wide, and they're like, what the fuck is a wide? I'm like, I don't know. The doctor said I'm a 10 and a half wide. Like, they're not like completely fucking weird feet, but they're wider than usual.
That checks out.
Girthy. He's got girthy feet.
Yeah, like they're girthy, but like they're normal looking. It's just like, it's always a pain with shoes.
Have you ever had a pair of Air Force Ones?
Yeah, I've had one pair. They fit pretty nice. I normally wear Vans or Adidas stuff.
So the Air Force Ones that you got, whatever size that you chose for the pair that you had before in the past, use that same size and go grab a pair of the CIRLs. They will
All right, cool.
they fit like Air Force Ones, but they have technology in them that gives you a gaming aspect, and that's the part I think that you will
And
enjoy.
this is an artifact thing.
This is an artifact thing. I tagged you on the timeline for what it is, and you can jump on, go through that lookbook. It answers all of the questions that are there, but it has a really gamification element added to it, man. The technology behind it, I think you would definitely appreciate, and I think you'll end up being in the next Clown Shoe post if you miss out on that because you would definitely want to be a part of this
All right, I'll look at it.
for sure.
All right, I'm gonna play Zelda, and then I'm trying. I don't know if it comes out tonight or tomorrow, but I'm big on anime, and there's a new anime that's
Oh
fucking
yeah, what
amazing.
is it? Hell's Paradise?
Yeah, Hell's
Is that really what
Paradise.
it was? Fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
that because
dude.
I don't know if it comes out tonight or tomorrow, but I'm watching every
Yeah,
episode.
it's so good. Oh man, so good.
Dude, it's anything that Mappa touches
Touches
is usually worth watching.
Jesus. Yeah, so good.
What do y'all watch it on?
Crunchyroll.
I watch it. Well, I watch on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's perfect because right now it's a good cycle because Hell's Paradise is on one night, and then the night after it's
You
Demon
got Demon
Slayer.
Slayer right now. You also got Dead Mount Death Play. If you haven't checked that out,
No, I don't know that one,
check that
but
one
I know
out.
those other two.
You'll like it too.
All right. Yeah, I like anime. I like quality anime,
We
and
also
Hell's
need to catch
Paradise.
up on your hologram, dude. Got to get that going.
I think Hell's Paradise. Right now it's too early, but I think Hell's
Goated.
Paradise has Attack on Titan style like
Yep.
personality to it, and I think it's the type of anime to become like a viral show. Given
The
enough time.
visuals are so good. Yeah.
The visuals are good. The story's good. There's a lot of play on like themes like what like the themes of hell. What does it mean to be a good person? Like there's a lot of themes versus like Attack on Titan is so popular because there's a lot of themes
Yep.
on war. And so I think this is like one of those types of highbrow animes that will do well.
Man, I got a Crunchyroll account from 2015 that I haven't been on since.
Damn.
I need to jump back in that shit.
You missed a lot of TV.
I know.
Yeah, you got to start like some Made in Abyss. Got all kinds of good stuff to watch.
I'm about to reset my shit right now as we speak. But yeah, all right, Comp, go ahead and do your thing, man. It's been a cool one. It's Friday night. Do your thing,
bro. What is a Crunchyroll account?
Oh my
I'm
god.
over here like, what are you guys talking about?
Some weeb thing. I don't know.
Anime.
Drugs.
Oh, hell.
Hardcore drugs.
Oh my god, you guys talking about anime in here while wearing
Yeah,
a bunch of anime PFPs? You fucking kidding me? No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Okay, hey, join the Discord and get in voice. We're watching the Laker game. We'll finish up the game in there. We'll have an after party in the Discord. Shout out to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mwah.
Let's do a little morning space tomorrow, Trey. Wake up, maybe 9, 10 a.m. We'll catch the Euro.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. I gotta go get my haircut at 9:30, but I'm free after that. So let's definitely do that. That'd be dope.
And we'll catch the Euro squad, see what they're up to on a little Saturday. I'll wake up before Shaw and have some coffee and run it. You know what I mean? All right, guys. We'll see y'all in there.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
you